American League Championship Series. Live from Royal Stadium in Kansas City, Game 1, the New York Yankees and the Kansas City Royals. And this ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Hilton. Whenever you're away from home, there's no place like Hilton. And by Betamax, the home videotape recorder from Sony, the one and only. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Kansas City. It is beautiful, summer-like, 88 degrees. I'm Al Michaels. Dry conditions, just perfect, full house looking on, and here we go again. The Yankees and the Kansas City Royals meeting in the playoffs for the 4th time in 5 years. First off, let's set the schedule for you. Game 1 today, Game 2 tomorrow night here. No day off, as is the case in the National League. Game 3 will go to New York, Yankee Stadium, 8 o'clock Eastern Time on Friday. If a 4th game is necessary, Yankee Stadium, Saturday, 8 o'clock Eastern. If a 5th game is necessary, we'll wrap it up on Sunday at 4 o'clock from New York. It has been immensely frustrating, of course, in the 3 years the Yankees and the Royals have met in the playoffs for the Kansas City Royals. The Yankees have won all 3 series, the first 2 in very dramatic fashion. We'll go back and you'll all recall 1976, the way it ended. Game 5, score tied, 9th inning, Chris Chambliss driving one over the right field wall at Yankee Stadium. And the toughest accomplishment for Chambliss from that point on was getting to home plate. Yankees win it in 5, go on to lose in 4 to Cincinnati in the World Series. Following year, it went to 5. The 5th game was here. The Royals had blown a 9th inning lead, and Freddie Patek ended it by grounding into that double play, started by Greg Nettles. Yankees win it again, go on to take the World Series in 6 over the Dodgers. Freddie Patek in that classic shot, summing up the Royals' frustration. The following year, the Yankees did it again, and this time they made it in 4. Goose Gossage looking in for the sign, ready to end it. Pete Lecoq, the batter for Kansas City. Easy fly ball to left field. Gary Thomason right there to put it away. The Yankees win it in 4, go on again to beat the Dodgers in the World Series. So can the Royals do it in 1980? We'll find out. In just a moment, a player-by-player team comparison with Billy Martin and Jim Palmer when we come back to Kansas City.
Sony introduces the art of watching television. Sony Betamax lets you record and see what you want when you want, to summon into your home a world of wonder. And a remarkable feature called Beta Scan lets you scan forward and reverse to quickly find any single image. Betamax transforms the act of watching television into the art of watching television.
Your show is about to begin.
Sony, the one and only.
I'm Frank Schroeder. If you're like me, this is the only kind of running you want to do on a business trip. That's why you should stay at a Hilton, because Hilton can put you within walking distance of almost every business, financial, and entertainment center in the country.
Good morning, Mr. Shorter. Good morning, Mr. Shorter.
So when it's time to get down to business, why run when you can walk?
There's no place like Hilton.
We are delighted to have working with us throughout the course of the American League Championship Series, Billy Martin, who's traded his Oakland gold jersey for the ABC Gold Blazer. Billy, great to have you with us, a man who should be Manager of the Year. And let's begin with a position-by-position comparison of these two teams. Starting in the infield, we go to first base. The Yankees going with Bob Watson, Willie Aikens for KC.
Well, I give the edge to the Yankees. I think Watson can hit both left-handed and right-handed pitching better than Aikens can hit left-handers, so the edge goes to the Yankees.
All right, now it's second base, Willie Randolph and Frank White.
Both tremendous second basemen, both very good on double play, both have great range, but Willie Randolph is, I think, a little better second baseman. I give the edge to the Yankees.
So another edge to New York. At shortstop, you've got Bucky Dent and young UL Washington.
Well, Al, this is a standoff. I think they're both real good players. Bucky is consistent and does a lot of things out there. UL has got speed, so I have to say this is a push.
Now, at third base, Aurelio Rodriguez today, Greg Nettles tomorrow against George Brett.
Well, this position really goes to the Yankees. Both Aurelio and both Greg, they're both tremendous third basemen. Probably the 2 better third basemen you're going to see in baseball. George is a great hitter, but he can't field these 2 guys.
Another platoon situation for New York in left field, Lou Piniella and Bobby Mercer. Willie Wilson every day for KC.
Well, I think Wilson gets the edge here because he can play this turf out here, plus his speed, and I think he moves around a little bit than those other 2 do.
Good contrast in center. The rookie, Bobby Brown. The veteran, Amos Otis.
Well, Brown's got the speed, but Otis is the better outfielder, so I have to give Otis the edge.
Now in right field, of course, for New York, Reggie Jackson. You've got John Wathan platooning with Clint Hurdle.
Well, Al, as you know, Reggie has trouble in this type of turf, and so I have to give the edge in Kansas City to Wathan.
So overall, infield and outfield now.
Kansas City in the outfield and the Yankees in the infield.
Let's take a look at the fellas back of the plate. You've got Rick Cerrone for New York. Darrell Porter, a left-handed hitter, starts today against a left-handed pitcher.
Well, Darrell's a tremendous competitor, a really aggressive player, but I have to give the edge to Cerrone, who also is very aggressive and a hard-nosed type of player.
Take a look at the DHs now. Eric Soderholm faces lefties, Oscar Gamble righties, Hal McRae for KC.
I have to give McRae the edge because he's a better all-around hitter, although the power goes to the Yankees in the DH department.
Some good individual matchups. Also working with us, a veteran of this booth, having helped us cover the 1978 Championship Series, Jim Palmer of the Baltimore Orioles, a man who's won 3 Cy Young Awards and a man who's been a 20-game winner 8 different times. Jim, obviously in a short series, pitching is so important. How do you size it up, the Yankees and the Royals, the two staffs?
Well, I would give the edge to the Yankees, and the reason for this, of course, is that the Kansas City staff has 4 excellent starters, but they've had a lot of injury problems and confidence problems. Gurra's lost his last 5 starts. Splittorf's been bothered with back spasms all year. Gale's had shoulder problems. The Yankees, Guidry's got his problems solved, apparently. Tommy John has a slight spasm in the back, but seems to be able to pitch. And Rudy May was the earned run average leader in the American League. I would definitely give the edge to the Yankees.
Now, a lot of people seem to think it'll get down to a bullpen comparison. You've got 2 great ones, Quisenberry for the Royals, Gossage for New York.
Well, it's really a standoff in the bullpen, I would say, because Gossage had an outstanding year. Obviously, the more dynamic of the two. Strikes guys out. Quisenberry, 33 saves, 12 wins, has really been the guy that got the Royals where they are. But the Yankees have a little bit more depth. They have a guy named Ron Davis, won 14 games last year, 9 this year, had 7 saves. So I give the edge to the Yankees in the bullpen, too.
So there are the remarks of Billy Martin and Jim Palmer, the comparison individually and as far as the pitching is concerned. In just a moment, we'll be back to visit with Reggie Jackson and George Brett.
The fun side of John Newcomb. That's what I was shooting for. That's why I was shooting with my Canon AE1.
Ready?
Look at those numbers. Could that man win the MVP? Of course he can. 300 batting average. He's never done that before. 41 homers, 111 RBIs. Reggie Jackson of the New York Yankees. I talked with him yesterday. Reggie, as the series opens, the mood of the Yankees, the spirit of the team, the feeling around the Yankee clubhouse.
I think we're confident right now. I think we know what we have to do. I think we're here to work. The fact that we were in a dogfight the last 6-7 weeks of the season with a great ball club that won 100 ball games. I think that our intensity level is up and we don't have to turn anything back on. Everyone's swinging the bat well. The pitchers are throwing the ball well. Goose is super. And the atmosphere is great. We're ready to play baseball.
You've had Kansas City's number, 76, 77, 78. Does that matter at all in 80?
It doesn't to me. They have 3 obviously new players on a ball club. They have Dan Quisenberry with 33 saves. They have Willie Wilson, who's a walking double, 220-some hits and 79 stolen bases and only caught 7 or 8 times. And of course, George Brett was then just a 320 hitter. He's now a 390 hitter. So I think that these 3 people give them a different look. I don't think we can try or think about hoping the 76 and 77 and 78 Yankees beat the Kansas City Royals. I think the 80 Yankees have to beat them, and if they win a ball game tomorrow, all that thing about we can't win, we can't beat them goes out the drain.
You know, the old theory, short series, it comes down to pitching. Is that the key, or is it speed, or is it something else, or a combination of factors?
We've got good pitching, and of course, we've got Rich Gossage. I think that gives us a decided advantage in the pitching area. I think that our key, or if there is a key, the key to me really is to win 3 games before they do. But if you're looking for an area of weakness, or if you're looking for an area that they can exploit, that would be our ball club defensively in the outfield being on AstroTurf. We're not a good AstroTurf club defensively. We have spent a lot of time in our scouting area talking about how to play them defensively in the outfield. And when they leave home plate, their singles, they're thinking double. With their doubles, they're thinking triples. And of course, with Willie Wilson, he can hit a ground ball and turn it into a home run. So this is where we have to concentrate, and this is where we could be lacking, or we could help turn the series around.
Very briefly, were you ever worried there in late August when Baltimore had closed to the top?
Worried, maybe not, but I was very, very, very concerned.
Reggie Jackson, possible MVP, but what about George Brett? He could win it too. 390, 24 homers. He had 118 RBIs and he missed a lot of action. I spoke with George yesterday here in Kansas City. George, as the series commences now, if you could sum up the feeling of the Kansas City Royals, a team that's lost 3 times to the Yankees last year, not even in the playoffs, now a brand new year, 1980, the feeling of the team going in.
Well, I think right now we're very confident. The one thing I don't want to do, and I think the rest of my teammates don't want to do, is remember 1976, 77, and 78, the 3 years we lost to the Yankees. This is a new year. I think we're a lot better team than we were then. And if we can go out and play the Yankees like we did during the regular season when we beat them 8 out of 12 times, I think we'll be very, very happy.
Is this a better club than the clubs of 76, 77, and 78?
Well, I think it is, yes. I've gotten better, I think. I've gotten older. I've gained more experience, and I'm more mature. Willie Wilson wasn't an everyday ball player in those years, and now Willie's one of the best players in the league. He's a bona fide superstar, in my opinion. Frank White has gotten better. Ewell Washington's played a great shortstop for us. Willie Aikens had a very offensive, productive season. Darryl Porter's had an off year for what he did last year, but he's been swinging the bat real good lately, and hopefully he can continue to do so. Hal McRae has gotten a little bit better, and I think he's going to be a big asset to the Royals in the playoffs. But I think the big key is the bullpen. We have Dan Quisenberry out there, who was the Fireman of the Year, and Dan's not a strikeout pitcher, but he knows what to do when he comes in a game. He usually gets a ground ball, we turn a double play, and that's the ball game, and hopefully he can be effective in the playoffs against the Yankees.
All right, you think Quisenberry is perhaps your key. What about the Yankees? Do you think Gossage might be the key there?
Well, if the games go to the 7th inning and they're still close, both of those players are going to be keys. Gossage for the Yankees, Quisenberry for the Royals. I think whoever does the best job probably has a good chance to win it, but hopefully we'll be so far ahead in runs, 6-1, 7-1, that Gossage can come in there and strike out 6 out of 9 guys, and it won't matter. I know we've had trouble with Gossage throughout the past. We've also had a lot of trouble with Sparky Lyle. Sparky's no longer with the Yankees, and I think if Goose can go 5 games, I think if he appears in 5 games, I think we'll have a better chance to get to him maybe in the 3rd or 4th game than we would in the 1st or 2nd.
Briefly, George, compare the Yankees, the teams you faced, 76, 77, 78, with this team, a lot of new faces.
Well, there are a lot of new faces. I look back to 76, 77, and 78, and I really felt the guys that beat us were Thurman Munson, who hit the home run in Game 3, I think it was, back in New York in 78. Chris Chambliss, of course, who hit the home run in 76 in the 5th game in the bottom of the 9th to win it for the Yankees. Mickey Rivers, who was always on base and doing a great job, and Roy White had a couple key hits and key situations for him. Those 4 guys are no longer there, and I really think that's going to help us mentally going into this thing. Those are the 4 guys that hurt us, and not only my opinion, but a lot of guys' opinions. They are a good ball club. We know if we don't play good baseball, we're not going to beat them. But just the fact of having the 4 guys out of the lineup or no longer in a Yankee uniform, 1980, I think is going to be a big plus for us.
All right, we've heard from Jackson and Brett, and there's your pitching matchup today. 2 left-handers, Ron Guidry for the Yanks, Larry Gurr for the Royals. We'll be right back.
Panasonic calls this VHS recorder Omnivision. I call it Regivision because it tapes 6 hours of me off the air, even when I'm on the road. It also has stop action. And when I don't like what's on TV, I make my own with my Panasonic sound camera. And then there's always something great on TV.
Panasonic 6-hour Omnivision.
Regivision.
Omnivision.
I've been thinking about the market lately.
My broker says now's a good time to look into tax-free income. What'd your broker say?
Well, my broker's E.F. Hutton, and E.F. Hutton says...
When E.F. Hutton talks, people listen.
Here's to good friends. Tonight
Hey,
is kind
Phil,
of special.
I thought you were taking us to dinner.
I am. Okay, where is it? You're standing on it. What?
Hey, a clam bake.
I suppose he got Lowenbrau, too.
Yep.
You want the taste of a truly great American beer. Tonight, let it be Lowenbrau.
Bill, that was fantastic.
Hey, I only take my friends to the best places.
So in Kansas City today, Ron Guidry on the mound for the New York Yankees, a 25-game winner 2 years ago, and on the mound for Kansas City, former Yankee Larry Gura. We'll be back with Game 1 of the American League Championship Series after this word from our local stations, the Yankees and the Royals.
Sunday on those amazing animals. Learn about the whale's tragic graveyard, a chimp who makes house calls, and the meanest bucking Broncos. Then, hear the stories of the people who survived the eye of Hurricane Camille and a real-life towering inferno, catastrophe. Then, they're the wildest truckers on the road.
You must be out of your mind.
Ali McGraw and Chris Christopherson leading an army of cops on a cross-country chase.
Sunday starting at 7, 6 Central and Mountain on ABC.
The Yankees won 22 World Series. No other teams come close. The Steelers won 4 Super Bowls. No other teams come close. American Airlines has been the #1 choice for domestic travel in 3 straight surveys of frequent flyers. No other airlines won even once. The main reason we won, service, and the American team that delivers it.
We're American Airlines, doing what we do best.
Now there's a men's cologne by American designer Ralph Lauren that captures the feeling of the West. A cologne a man can put on as naturally as a worn leather jacket or a pair of jeans. Chaps, the men's cologne by Ralph Lauren. Chaps, it's the West you feel inside of yourself.
He's got no time to lose, 'cause he's on the move. The Adolfo man takes command. His every action, his every move. He's so suave and so smooth. The Adolfo man takes command. A born leader who wins, finishes what he begins. Success comes to him. The Adolfo man takes command. The Adolfo man takes command.
Survivors of the City tonight at 6.
ABC Sports presents the 1980 American League Championship Series. For the 4th time in 5 years, the Kansas City Royals taking on the New York Yankees. Yankees clinching the East on Saturday. Reggie Jackson provided the key blow in a game against Detroit with his 41st home run. And appropriately, Rich Gossage put it away with his 33rd save. Kansas City in a cakewalk in the West, led by George Brett, who wound up hitting .390. And the sensational left fielder Willie Wilson led the league in runs and hits. Today, Game 1. ABC Sports brings you Game 1 of the American League Championship Series. The Kansas City Royals hosting the New York Yankees live from Royal Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. And this ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Chevrolet and your Chevy dealer with Chevette, Monza, Citation, and the new Monte Carlo. Chevy's up ahead for 1981. By Pepsi Cola and your local Pepsi Cola bottler who invites you to catch that Pepsi spirit. And by Allstate Insurance Companies. You're in good hands with Allstate. Just gorgeous. 88 degrees, the official temperature right now in Kansas City. We're looking forward to a terrific series. Al Michaels with you. Billy Martin joining us for the playoffs this year. Billy, first of all, the Yankees and the Royals, we heard you compare them player by player. Now, as far as the teams are concerned, who are you picking?
Well, I think I'll give the edge to the Yankees, Al. I think that they have just a little bit more in everything.
How many games?
Well, I think maybe 4.
So you don't think it'll go to Sunday. Let me ask you this. The Royals won it easily, coasted. in the Western Division. The Yankees had to struggle in the Eastern Division. Is that a factor at all?
I think so. I don't think you can turn on wins and just that easy overnight. I think they had a very bad month in September. The Royals did, and I think the Yankees finished sharp. So we'll just see what happens right now. But as far as I'm concerned, if Guidry is sharp out there, that's the answer.
You see a lot of runs in this series?
Well, that Kansas City Ball Club can score a lot of runs, and this artificial turf out here, they're tough.
All right, so Billy Martin likes the New York Yankees. He likes them in 4. Jim Palmer, you going to play devil's advocate?
Well, I think Kansas City has a great chance to possibly beat the Yankees. Like Billy said, the Yankees played far superior baseball in September. I talked to manager Fry of Kansas City. He just feels that their guys had nothing to look forward to. They had a 20-game lead, clinched the division early. He feels they can turn it on. But I think the one ingredient that the Yankees could really have difficulty in containing is the speed of the Kansas City Ball Club. They're really going to have to keep Willie Wilson off the bases and, whenever possible, pitch around George Brett, because here's a guy that can carry a team on his back. And the Royals have a chance, but they're going to have to play excellent baseball. They scored 12, 13, and 14 runs on 3 occasions and only hit 1 home run in those 3 ball games. So they can put a lot of runs on the board by not hitting the ball out of the ballpark.
Yankees win 3 series in a row from the Royals, 76, 77, 78. Is there a jinx, or is that media hype?
I don't really know. I think the fact that the Yankees played better is the reason they won, but I do think that the 2 pivotal games are the ones here in Kansas City. I talked to George Brett. He feels it would really give them a lift to sweep here. They definitely have to win 1, and I'm not really sure either the Royals or their fans know that they can beat the Yankees.
Game 1 at hand. Guidry and Gura, 2 left-handers facing each other. We're set as the Yankees take on Kansas City from Royal Stadium. We'll be back right after this.
Why? The question is why? The question is why?
81 Caprice Classic. You can spend more. The question is, why? Why spend more for a smooth, quiet ride, plus room and luxury like this? Why pay more for V6 mileage estimates like these? Chevrolet Caprice Classic. You can spend more.
The question is why?
I told my Allstate agent I can't afford life insurance. Well, John, don't put marbles in the penny wrappers. He told us about one of Allstate's affordable life plans. For a 28-year-old, $50,000 in decreasing term insurance for about $11 a month. These pennies could pay for a couple of months. Well, John...
Well, you put your pennies in my marble jar.
Ask about Allstate Life's affordable life plans. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Day in, day out, you go through the same routine. Till one day, that routine turns into a rut. And then it's time to make a run for it. We're AMF. We make what it takes to make that run. We make Roadmaster bikes, Crestliner power boats, head skis and Tyrolia ski bindings. We take you out of your rut and clear to the mountaintop. AMF. We make weekends.
Here's your chance to get the official 1980 World Series souvenir program, the same one sold at the ballpark. It's a collector's item commemorating the 77th Fall Classic. Send check or money order for $3 to World Series Program, Box 1980, Norwood, New Jersey, 07648. It's filled with World Series glamour, history, and statistics. That's World Series Program, Box 1980, Norwood, New Jersey. Act now. Quantities are limited.
The preceding was brought to you by Major League Baseball.
If I wear my sunglasses.
Let's take a look around Royal Stadium in Kansas City. Just a gorgeous facility. The playing surface is tartan turf. I look down into the left field corner where it's 330. You go out to the alley in left center, 385, 410 out to straightaway center. And a symmetrical ballpark, 385 in the alley to right, 330 down the line. And the Kansas City Royals taking the field. A team managed by a rookie manager, Jim Fry, longtime coach under Earl Weaver at Baltimore. There is Ron Guidry, still throwing, warming up in the Yankee bullpen. Guidry spent some time in the bullpen, of course, in August and early September. And Gura has completed his warm-ups. The rest of the Royals are out on the field. Gura with 18 victories and had all of those by the end of August. So Larry had a difficult September. couldn't seek number or find number 19. He sought it 7 times. And now he goes to the mound here today. So the crowd rising at Royal Stadium in Kansas City on a summer-like day. Temperature approaching the 90 mark as we get set for the playing and singing of our national anthem.
Let's all enjoy the multi-award-winning MCA recording artist, the Oak Ridge Boys, with our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
The Oak Ridge Boys with our national anthem before a sellout crowd at Kansas City. Ballpark holds about 40,000. Beautiful facility. Many think the finest in the league, opening in 1973. Here's the Yankee lineup today. Willie Randolph, great year. Hit .294, draws a lot of walks. Leads off. The steady shortstop, the veteran Bucky Dent. There's Bob Watson, first year with the Yanks, first time he's ever been in the playoffs. Mr. October on October the 8th. Bats fourth. Eric Soderholm is the designated hitter. Bats behind Jackson. There's a man who had a terrific season. Rick Cerrone, first year with the Yanks. Lou Piniella, the veteran, is in left field. Aurelio Rodriguez, picked up from San Diego in August, is the third baseman. And the rookie Bobby Brown in center field. Defensively for Kansas City, you've got Willie Aikens in his first year with the Royals. Came over to deal with the Angels at first base. The second baseman doesn't get a whole lot of ink or airtime, but you'll all find out about Frank White. Could be the best in the league defensively. A lot of people think so. At shortstop is the man who has taken over for Freddie Patak. There is George Brett, though. Brett is at third. And, of course, what need be said about that man and UL Washington, who we started to talk about a moment ago, the shortstop filling the shoes very capably of Freddie Patak, who was with California this year. And Brett, of course, at third, the man who could win any election in Kansas City and these parts. Willie Wilson really came into his own this season. They never knew if he could hit. Willie hit .326. Amos Otis has been around a long time, the veteran in center field. And in right field is John Wathan, a very versatile man who can play the outfield. He can also be used at first base and does a lot of catching. And a lot of people thought he would be catching today, but it will be Darrell Porter, who is on the lineup card of Jim Fry, despite the left-hander Guidry going. And on the mound, left-hander Larry Gura, 18 and 10, 2.95 ERA. Jim, for those who haven't seen Gura, the type of pitcher he is.
Well, basically, Al, he's the control pitcher. I think that's the problem he had in September. His control was off. He has a sneaky fastball, but I think that the pitch is going to give Kansas City, the Yankees, a lot of trouble is the breaking pitch. He's going to have to move the ball in and out, and I think we'll see as the game progresses, if he's on, he's going to be running the Yankees off the plate with his fastball and throwing changeups and curveballs away.
So here we go. Game number one, Larry Gura working on Willie Randolph, and the first pitch is a breaking ball low and in. 1-0 the count. Steve Palermo working the plate. Joe Brinkman at first. Larry McCoy at second. Bill Haller at third. On the lines, you've got Ken Kaiser in left and George Maloney in right. Randolph takes a strike. 1-1. Perfect man, Ritty Bitty, for the leadoff position.
Willie's a real tough player. I mean, he gets on base a lot. He led the league in walks this year. He's very aggressive base runner, and he could steal any time. Although Garrett doesn't have as good a move as Guidry does.
1-1 the count. 2-1 now. Randolph, obviously with a great eye. Willie drew 119 walks this season.
Another thing that's very important, Al, is that you have Steve Palermo behind the plate, and you have to throw the ball over the plate. He doesn't give you that extra inch or two on the outside corner.
Hit in the air to right center field. Otis a long way to go and can't make the catch. Watson backhands at the edge of the warning track, and Randolph is in at second with a double. Amos Otis looked like he did get a relatively decent jump on the ball and just couldn't get there in time. We'll look at it again.
Lucky Dent.
It's really not too bad of a pitch, Al. He just that the reason Randolph's so tough is he hits the ball all over the ballpark, and Amos made a nice try, just couldn't get to the ball.
So Randolph with a double, and there, of course, the owner of the New York Yankees, George Steinbrenner, in attendance here in Kansas City. The series beginning here and going to New York on Friday. The batter is Bucky Dent. Tries to bunt Randolph along. Lays down a good one. Gura throws to first for the out, as Akins remains at the bag to take the throw, and Randolph moves to third. So one down.
Batting third.
Billy, is that indicative of the way you would manage in the playoffs? Do you try to get one run early, or think about the big inning, or just what?
Well, Al, when you have a pitcher like Guidry out there who can win a one-run ball game, you go after the run the early part of the ball game.
Another thing to look at is that Bob Watson is not a type of guy that's going to strike out very often. You get a man at third, you got a great chance of scoring.
He's a good contact man, Jim.
And all he has to do is hit a ground ball, because the infield is back with Randolph at third and one out. Watson hits a bouncer to third. That's the wrong infielder to hit it to, though, and Brett throws him out. Kansas City back at short and second, but Brett was up at third, and so the runner has to hold.
Well, again, Al, you know, they're nervous right now, first inning, and probably a little later on in the series, you'll see him wait for a better pitch to drive.
Bob Watson grounding out on the first pitch, and here is Reggie Jackson. First time ever he reached the 300 mark. Tied Ben Ogilvy for the American League lead in home runs with 41. 111 RBIs. His month.
And I think when you see the center field picture here, Al, you'll notice that, again, Charlie Lau's influence has something to do with Reggie's batting stance. He's moved way off the plate. When I first started pitching against Reggie, he was right up on top of the plate. Last year he hit 297, and this year he hit 300.
And it didn't cost him power-wise either. 1-1, good pitch. Closer examination of the way Reggie plants.
Well, Reggie likes to get his arms extended. I think the book on Reggie, if you're going to try to get him out, is to, number one, not throw him too many strikes and run the ball in on him. When he gets the ball out over the plate, he can hit the ball a long way.
Not throw him too many strikes. That's appropriate after what happened in Baltimore, huh? Randolph at third. 2 down. Did he check in time? Yes, he did. 2-1. Have a speed gun on Gura. That was his fastest delivery thus far, 89 miles an hour. Jackson with very little success, as you can see, against Gura. Lifetime. 2-1 to Reggie. Foul back, and the count is 2-2. Larry Gura, playoff veteran, came over from the Yankees in a deal that sent Fran Healy, now a Yankee broadcaster, to New York in 1976. 18-10 this year. 74 and 47 lifetime. 2 out, first inning, no score. Willie Randolph, the runner at third. The 2-2 to Jackson is fouled away.
It looks like he's going right after him. I would think this would be a very important inning for Larry Gura. 7 not very successful starts in September. Looks like he has confidence in his fastball.
He's throwing a lot harder than I've seen him throwing during the season.
Well, that's playoff time. You get a little bit pumped up.
Randolph at third. Jackson, by the way, finished the season with a 13-game hitting streak after really struggling in September. 2-2 pitch. It's hit high in the air to left field, down the line. Washington going out. Wilson coming in. It's Willie in foul ground to retire Reggie and the Yankees in the first inning. No runs, a hit. Randolph stranded 90 feet away after a half. It's the Yankees, nothing. And the Royals coming up.
No experience, no job. I could do that job, but who'd give me the chance?
Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines.
We don't ask for experience, we give it. You won't read it in a book, you live it. Pick a service, pick a challenge, set yourself apart.
Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. What a great place, it's a great place to start.
Here's the Kansas City lineup. There's Willie Wilson. Tremendous year. Hit .326. UL Washington batting second at shortstop. The great one, George Brett at third. Hal McRae, very fine designated hitter. Wound up batting .297. A.O. they call this man in Kansas City. The versatile John Watson hit .305. Willie Aikens batting seventh, left-handed batter in the lineup today. And another left-handed hitter, Darrell Porter, the catcher, is sitting eighth. Frank White rounding out the order. The Yankees defensively, the Bull, Bob Watson, the steady one, finally getting into the playoffs, first time in his career. Willie Randolph, who doubled in the top of the first inning, is at second. Bucky Dent, dependable at shortstop. And at third base is Aurelio Rodriguez. He'll play today, and Greg Nettles will play tomorrow. In the outfield, you've got Lou Piniella. In left field, in center is Bobby Brown. Of course, Wilfred Jones gone for the year. So Brown taking over there, and Reggie Jackson in right. Back of the plate, Rick Cerrone made a tremendous difference. And Ron Guidry on the mound. Guidry spending a couple of weeks in the bullpen to iron out some problems in late August and early September. Had he been in the rotation all the way, it's conceivable he'd have 120. Willie Wilson, switch hitter, batting .326. 0-1 the count.
And right off the bat, you see Ron Guidry's best pitch. Everybody talks about his fastball, but the pitch that really makes him the pitcher that he is the slider. And that's the pitch he had trouble with. That's the pitch he went to the bullpen in late August and worked with Clyde King, and apparently it's working very well.
0-2. 94 miles an hour. Billy, what percentage of the time should Guidry throw the slider, would you figure?
Well, it's a strikeout pitch, like Jim said. He usually throws it to strike the batter out. When he was having trouble about a month ago, he was throwing the slider too soon. It was breaking in dirt about a foot in front of the home plate. Usually it goes right up at your knees, and then it disappears.
He's ahead quickly on Wilson. No balls and 2 strikes. Umpires looking down toward the gate in left field. That's the way we'll get to New York on Friday, guys.
Sure that's not Howard?
Could very well be. Of course, Howard's in Philadelphia. Game 2 in the National League Championship Series. Astros-Phillies coming up tonight at 8 Eastern Time. 1-2 the count.
Al, I think Willie's a better hitter left-handed. We've had tougher luck against him when he bats left-handed. He hits such a good jump to first base, and he'll hit weak grounders down there.
Well, what's unusual, Billy, is that he hits so much higher this year right-handed. He hit .361 right-handed, .304 left-handed. It just doesn't make sense. But because from a pitching standpoint, I think, like you said, he's a very tough out from the left side. But it seemed like Mike Flanagan, Scotty McGregor, our left-handers have pretty good success with him.
The 1-2 to Wilson, grounded down to Randolph, juggles, recovers, still has time to get him on the sharply hit bouncer. One away. UL Washington, the batter. Washington, like Wilson, is a switch hitter. UL from this side of the plate batted .300 this season. Turned him around, he was only .253.
There's a little bit more power batting right-handed. Left-handed, he just kind of slaps the ball. This way, he can hit some extra base hits and occasionally drive the ball and hit a home run.
He hit 5 from the right side and only 1 the other way this year. 1-0. What's a playoff series without that man? Yogi Berra, Yankee coach.
He's wonderful.
Oh, what pressure, huh? Yogi in it seemingly year after year. 1-1. It's funny, some guys just seem to find their way to the playoffs and series every year. As you look at Dick Hauser in his first year as the Yankee manager. And isn't it interesting? Hauser a rookie, Fry a rookie, in essence Dallas Green at Philadelphia, rookie manager. 3 of the 4 teams, and of course the veteran Bill Verdon rounding out the 4 amongst the divisional winners. One out, bases empty, no score, bottom of the first in game 1. 2-1 the count. Billy, how much contact as we look at Jim Fry, and of course Jim Palmer is a man who knows Jim Fry intimately, years and years at Baltimore as a coach. Hauser, the Yankee manager, as the 2-1 pitch is fouled away. How much do you talk with Dick over the year, Bill?
Well, Dick and I are very close. You know, he's my third base coach for a couple of years at the Yankees, and I don't get too many chances to talk to him. I went down the field, talked to him today, and he's very confident, he's cool, and he's quite a young man. I think he's going to be one of the great managers in baseball.
Guidry's 2-2 pitch is wrapped foul.
He told me that if he didn't get a chance to see you when he made his first mistake, for you to give him a phone call. I asked him what the number was.
He's sharp down there, Jim. He really is.
Well, he did a great job this year.
Sure did.
UL Washington with a toothpick. Seen that from time. Cliff Johnson, of course. Same thing. Grounded to third. Rodriguez gathers it in and throws him out. So 2 down now in the first inning. And the crowd responding as George Brett strides to the plate. Made a serious run at becoming the first 400 hitter since 1941. It's incredible that he had that many runs batted in and missed so many games. George with an ankle injury early and then a wrist injury late and still drives in 118. 0-1. How in the world do you pitch to George Brett?
Well,
careful, right?
Yeah, and keep your fingers crossed.
I think what we were talking about yesterday, Billy, you really have to pitch him and defense him one way. I mean, you just don't throw breaking balls and fastballs, and he always seems to find the holes. I know in Oakland you have probably the best, or at least the fastest outfield in baseball, or at least in the American League. How did you defense him, or did you pitch him one certain way?
Well, Jim, yes, so what we did was not pitch him in one pattern all the time. Change our patterns every time he came up to the plate. The first time, start him off with a breaking ball. The second time, go to a different way. And never let him get set for one thing.
1-1 pitch. Missing away. If you're wondering about Brett against left-handed pitching, since the Yankees will throw 3 left-handers in a row, George hit .318 against lefties. He hit .437 against righties. 2-2.
That's why I'm up here.
He didn't do that against our righties in Oakland.
Yeah, you guys handled them this year.
Well, you have Art Fowler has taught a lot of your pitchers the mystery pitch.
That's hit in the air to right field. Reggie Jackson coming on and plays it very tentatively, and Brett will seek the extra base. Testing Jackson's arm at double. So Reggie Jackson had a tough time playing it. Started in very gingerly, played it on a hop, and Brett will do that a lot. Take the extra base.
It looks like he lost the ball. I'd have to say he lost the ball in the sun. He didn't pick it up at all because that was a catchable ball.
Absolutely. Brett with a double to right center. It's funny, it's incredible how many ballparks you get down to October. Remember Dodger Stadium last week and problems Guerrero had in the outfield? Cincinnati, you've got a problem in left field in October. Here in right. McRae the batter. Fly ball to right center field. Deep, but playable as Brown goes back and makes the catch. The assist to Reggie. No runs, one hit. Brett stranded at second. After one, no score.
You don't need a haircut, Mr. Reed. You need Brill Cream.
Brill Cream?
Sure. Your hair's short enough, but it's a mess.
It sure is.
Brill Cream so concentrated, just a little dab keeps my hair healthy looking and in control all day. Watch. Without Brill Cream, hair's out of control. With Brill Cream, hair stays in control. Try a little dab. See? Terrific, huh?
You're right. With Brill Cream, a little dab will do you.
Hey, Coach is back!
What's going on?
Lunch.
Burgers, huh?
Nah, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Coach says the Colonel only uses fresh quality chicken. Coach wants us to eat right. He says Kentucky Fried Chicken's a great meal at a sensible price.
Smart coach. Smart enough to know what my boys like best.
Right on, Hank!
It's in the eyes, so good about a meal, so good about Kentucky Fried Chicken.
It's raining, Ollie.
I can see that.
The wipers sure are making a mess.
Well, why don't you do something to help me? Oh!
Once a year, it makes sense to get yourself a new set of Anco wiper blades. It's simple, quick, and an inexpensive way to see your way clear again.
That's much better, Ollie.
Why, thank you, Stanley.
Tonight at 8 Eastern, the Astros try to even up the series against the Phillies in Game 2, live on ABC.
Larry Gura on the mound for Kansas City. I asked his battery mate, Darryl Porter, to describe him.
Larry's been, he's been steady like always. He's got a good fastball, decent fastball, not overpowering by any means, but he spots his fastball real well, and he's got a very good curveball that he spots also. He's got a decent slider, and he's got a good changeup, and I think probably the key is for Larry to keep the ball down and to keep him off balance, to keep him off stride.
Darryl Porter summing up Larry Gura, who is ahead on the count 0-1 to Eric Soderholm. He'll be followed by Cerrone and Piniella in the second inning. No score. One hopper to Washington. Over to Akins. One away here in the second inning. Rick Cerrone coming up. Al Michaels, Billy Martin, and Jim
10,
Palmer. Our coverage of the American League Championship Series. Cerrone, a tremendous acquisition, obviously, for the Yankees, Billy.
Well, Al, I was in on that before I left the Yankees. We knew we needed to catch after we lost the great Thurman Munson, and we went after Cerrone, and it looked like it turned out to be a great deal for the Yankees.
I guess so. He had a great year.
A lot of key hits that early in the season they kept walking fellas to get to him. And he kept responding.
It's a tough hitter, Al. He really is.
Well, it's a lot easier to hit here with the Yankees than it was in Toronto. He's surrounded by some better hitters. He's going to get better pitches to hit. And I talked to Charlie Lau, and he said he just hits the ball where it's pitched, has home run power, but's willing to walk. I mean, he's not going to swing at too many bad pitches.
Well, he's back home again, too. You know, local boy playing with the Yankees. That's got to lift him up quite a bit.
Gura 2-0 with Cerrone. Two and one now. Hit to deep left field, right down the line, and gone. So Rick Cerrone teeing off on a 2-1 pitch, hitting it right into the corner and hooking around the foul pole. And so the Yankees lead 1-0 here in the second inning.
Looked like a high changeup. 2-1. I figure he probably felt that just the change the speed of the pitch, but it wasn't in a very good spot, up around his eyes.
So the Yankees are on top in the second inning on a home run by Cerrone. And Lou Piniella, the batter.
As you know, he's a good high ball hitter, Jim. When you get a ball up there where he can extend those arms, he's going to drive it a long ways.
Piniella takes a strike. 0-1.
Talk to Lou. He's just happy to be here. I think when we had the mini strike in spring training, he was the only player that didn't stay in camp and really didn't get much of a chance to play till late in the season.
Lou Piniella, a former Royal, and there is Mrs. Lou Piniella. Most of the Yankee wives are here.
Also a former Oriole.
There's the man who's the difference in the game right now, Cerrone. Piniella lofting it foul back at first.
Al, I think the Yankees know Gurra pretty well. They know that he's a base on ball type of hitter, and you got to make him come up with the ball, make him throw a strike. If you keep going after his pitch, he's going to be successful.
All right, you had your troubles obviously with Gurra. Most of the fellas say Billy Martin's the greatest, but not Gurra. What happened?
Well, I had a tough decision to make. I had to either pitch him or Catfish Hunter, so I took Catfish Hunter instead.
This was back in '76. 0-2 pitch. Low. You guys have been trading barbs, at least in the papers over the years. How do you get along now?
We get along fine. I think there was a little misunderstanding. He thought I didn't like him, and that's not true at all. You don't pitch or play a guy whether you like him or dislike him. What's best for the ball club, that's what you try to do.
1-2 pitch. Inside. 2-2 the count.
And, you know, we managers could be wrong, too, sometimes.
You weren't wrong very much this year. I know that.
Thank you.
The Oakland A's, one of the big stories in baseball this year.
Helped take us right out of the pennant race.
Yeah, I tell you, if they make as much improvement next year, we won't have to worry about Billy in the booth. 2-2 pitch. Is it high in the air to deep left field? Right down the line again, and that one's gone.
Again, it looked like another high breaking ball.
It was. Again, those stats don't prove everything, does it? He's had 2 home runs all year.
Lou Piniella, that's exactly right. 2 home runs in the regular season.
Well, he said if he had faced me this year, he would have had 4. I said 4 more or just 4.
It's interesting. The Yankees are a team, obviously, with a lot of power. The Royals, a different sort of ball club, and the Yankee power here in the second inning as Jim Fry goes to the mound. So the Kansas City manager trying to settle Gurra down. The Yankees stilling the crowd. 40,000 plus here at KC. Rennie Martin in the Kansas City bullpen. Think about the playoffs, of course. You're up a lot earlier than you are in the regular season down there.
And I tell you also, Al, you really get nervous down here. You really do.
Playoffs are really something special. It was a great idea, splitting the leagues into divisions in '69. As the pitch is hit down the right field corner by Rodriguez. Into the corner. Watson has to scramble for it. And Aurelio winds up at second with a double. So that's 3 consecutive extra base hits for New York.
That's the way the right-handers have to hit him, Al. They got to go the other way. If they try to pull him, they hit a weak ground ball. If you go with him, he can be hittable.
Remember tonight, coming up, Game 2 last night. The big men, Luzinski, Carlton, McGraw. Phillies won at 3-1. Tonight, Game 2 from the vet, 8 Eastern time. Bobby Brown takes inside. Brown, the only Yankee switch hitter from this side. He hit .212 this season. The other way, he hit .282.
Much better high ball hitter from the right side. If Larry keeps making mistakes, that's the one pitch Bobby Brown can handle.
1-1.
You know, Al, he doesn't like the off-speed breaking ball. If you throw a real slow curve up there, he has a hard time to adjust to it.
See a vastly different hitter, right-handed as opposed to left-handed?
About the same, I think. But like Jim says, has a little more power right-handed, I think.
Runs up to bunt, takes outside. 2-1 on Brown. Jim Fry, his charges down early on home runs by Cerrone and Piniella. 2-0 in the second inning. Three and one now. And Brown is the number 9 hitter. You've got Randolph on deck.
I'm surprised they're not holding Aurelio closer to second. He could steal third base right now if he wanted to.
You know, the Yankees aren't known for their running game, though, other than possibly Bobby Brown and Willie Randolph.
That's it. The 1 and 9 guys. And Rupert Jones, of course, is disabled. Outside of those three, nobody else on the Yankees stole more than 2 bases this season.
I know if he had an Oakland uniform on, he'd be running.
I think I have him going right now, Jim. It's a good situation for a steal.
Well, you have to expect that Gurr's going to throw a strike, too. The control he has.
3-1 pitch is drilled foul. And the count is full at 3-2. Yankees, the team that led the majors in home runs this season with 189. Gurr taking a lot of time. That Porter wants to go to the mound.
You know, Al, you're talking about that sun out there. Even as a player, we always had trouble in October. That sun seems to be a different sun. It's a brighter glare, and you just don't pick up the ball as quick as you do normally during the season.
We'll see that at Yankee Stadium. But actually, we're there for 2 night games, and then we've got a possible late afternoon game for Game 5, 4 o'clock start.
Then you got your shadows, which will come in early in the ball game, and that'll be tough on the hitter and give the advantage towards the pitcher.
Won't have to worry about the sun tomorrow. We'll be back here for Game 2 at 8 Eastern time. Little bouncer to the right side. White over to first for the out, and Rodriguez moves up 90 feet. So Aurelio is now at third. And with 2 down, top of the order, Willie Randolph, who opened the game with a double in the first inning.
And this is a tough situation for Gurr. He's obviously struggling. You have one of the better hitters on the Yankee ball club coming up. If you walk him, he could steal second, and you really have a big inning. And if you throw the fastball down the middle of the plate, Willie's going to get his hits.
He's got to worry about also Willie can drop a bunt down or push one and drive that run in.
That's Billy Ball. 2-out bunt. One to know the count. Yankees leading 2-0, second inning. George Brett retying the shoelace. The reason for the time. Rodriguez, the runner at third with 2 down. The 1-0 pitch is popped up down the line and left. Washington is calling for it, and UL puts it away. In the inning, we get a couple of runs on home runs by Cerrone and Piniella. 3 hits and leave 1. After an inning and a half, Yankees 2, Royals nothing.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special. The beer.
Building inspector.
Hey, what are you guys doing here?
I didn't believe you two could build your own house.
Yeah, well, don't look.
It's not finished.
Well, I guess we'll just take our low and brown go. Well, maybe one quick look around.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Low and Brown.
What are you going to do when you finish this place? Just what I'm doing right now.
Economy cars. There sure are a lot of them around. But check out their sticker prices, and many don't seem quite as economical anymore. Fortunately, Chevy Monza isn't like most economy cars, because not only does Monza give you good gas mileage like this, it also happens to be the lowest priced car built in America. So why buy an economy car that just saves you gas when you can buy a Chevy Monza? It'll save you money right now. Chevy Monza, a truly economical economy car.
This is Polaroid's new Time Zero Supercolor film, and you know what this is.
Camera?
A one-step. Don't be cute.
Time Zero? That's a funnier name than One Step.
It's developing from Time Zero. The instant it leaves the camera, you begin to see it in 10 seconds.
She ought to be in pictures.
It's the world's fastest developing color. It's sharper and brighter than before.
Spectacular. But who named it Time Zero? You?
Polaroid, why?
Oh, I love it.
Ron Guidry on the mound for the Yankees. He is summed up from Rick Cerrone.
Ron Guidry went into the bullpen, came out for 4 starts and was 4-0. He's done a super job all year, 17-10, and people said he had a bad year. He's a super pitcher. He knows how to win. Still got an overpowering fastball, and should do a good job for us now.
Cerrone, interesting point. People say he has a bad year. Of course, that's the price you pay when you go 25-3 one season. It's like with Palmer, too. You win 18, you've had a terrible year, haven't you?
I guess so. Well, I did, though. I wasn't that good this year.
I'll take all those bad pitchers out of you.
Bottom of the second inning. The Yankees leading Kansas City 2-0. Amos Otis leading things off for Kansas City. Our center field camera temporarily out right now as it's fouled away, so feverishly working on that. Get it back in operable order shortly, so bear with us.
I think they're going to pitch Otis up in, and then he likes the ball out over the plate. That's where he drives the ball the best.
He really made a point to go to right field this year. I might have to do something with a tendon injury he had in his hand early in the season.
Hit right back through the middle. Amos Otis, the leadoff single here in the second inning.
That's hard for Guidry to go up in on right-handers. He's always had problems doing that. He's better off staying downstairs. That's where he's most effective.
Well, I think that base hit was on a slider, and he just got it in the middle of the plate. Otis has on most AstroTurf fields just hit the ball where nobody was playing. I've always had the feeling when I'm pitching that if the games that you pitch well on AstroTurf, you're kind of lucky. The balls are hit at people.
I'm not a great lover of AstroTurf.
Otis at first base and nobody out. John Watson. Fine season for John, hitting .305. One and oh. Misses John Watson. And the Sunbaked crowd at Royal Stadium.
And here's another guy that can hit the ball behind the runner to right field as well as anybody.
He was rough on us. He's a tough out.
Well, he likes the ball away. The scouting report on him, and to get him out effectively, you have to come up and in.
How about Guidry's pickoff move?
Well, that wasn't it right then. That's a decoy. He's got a real good one.
When he means business. Otis has 16 steals this season. There he goes. He's got a good jump. It's high, and there's no throw. Otis is off and flying.
Kansas City's a lot like your ball club, where you see just a good jump, and Guidry just takes a long time to get rid of the ball. I think if you're going to hold a runner on, you have to do either two things: keep him from getting a running jump, or get rid of the ball as quickly as you can to home plate.
Catcher has no chance unless you do that. None whatsoever.
2 balls and no strikes now on Watson. Nobody out. 2-0 New York. Bottom of the second inning. 3-0.
I think what you're seeing, Al, is just like your ball club in Oakland, Billy, this club to win is going to have to run against the Yankees regardless of the score.
They got to scratch it out. They got to go after them and do everything possible.
3-1 the count. Similar to Houston in the National League. They'll single and double and steal you to death.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Otis try to steal third.
Maybe wait an out or two.
Ball 4. So runners at first and second with nobody out. And Willie Aikens, the batter. All right, Billy, you're a manager. You're down 2-0. First and second, seventh place hitter, lefty against lefty. Do you lay it down?
Well, I think I would, to get back in the ball game, because he doesn't handle left-handers as well as he does right-handers. But of course, that'd be second guessing now, wouldn't it?
That's not second guessing. That's your
First
opinion up front. Let's see. Aikens up there to swing away and looks at a strike.
But there's another point too, Al. Maybe he can't bunt. There's just some guys that can't bunt, even though the situation calls for a bunt. They just don't know how to bunt. So you let him hit away.
I don't think Willie's had a lot of expertise in bunting. He's known for hitting some home runs.
He had no sacrifices this season, so that would bear up. And there he is, 0 for 11. In a sense, really, Jim Fry, I guess, playing a hunch here. And starting Aikens. 1-1 the count. Fry could have gone a couple of different ways with Wathan. He has Wathan in right, but he's got Cardinale. He could have had Jose in right, perhaps.
Well, I think Wathan's a lot better hitter. Plus, he's got good speed for a big man.
2-1. The point I was making there was if he had Cardinale in right, he could have moved, let's say, Wathan into first base, perhaps. But he's opted to keep Aikens in the lineup despite his lack of success against Ron Guidry.
Well, Willie's the type of guy that if you make one mistake, the ball ends up in the seats. So he's not a bad guy to have to get you back into a game.
2-1. Slice foul, and the count 2-2.
I mean, definitely from a day-to-day standpoint, I would think that you probably would, as they did, go with the right-handed lineup against the left-handed pitching.
I'm surprised that Den is playing as much pull against a left-handed power pitcher like this.
Bucky pulled over toward the middle. 2-2 pitch. Ball 3. 3-2.
Guidry's making some good pitches, but as we said before, Steve Palermo makes you throw the ball over the plate. You just don't. There are a lot of umpires where you can throw the ball an inch or two outside where the catcher's sitting, you get a strike, but not today.
3-2 pitch is a check swing foul.
I think he's one of the best young umpires in the game today. I'm just really impressed with Palermo, the way he handles himself.
Well, I don't know about handling himself, but he is one of the best umpires. He really has the most ability of any young umpire I've seen come up in the last couple of years.
I've heard you and him had some run-ins.
Well, if it's not me, it's Earl Weaver, so I suppose we're both with the same team.
Called strike 3. Got the outside corner. So a big out. The first in the second inning.
Catcher.
Here you see the slider. Guidry's strikeout pitch is money pitch.
And he can get it over on 3-2 like you just showed. You know, that's when a pitcher like yourself and all good pitchers in baseball, if they can get that pitch over when they're behind or in a tough situation, they're going to be successful.
And also the confidence to throw the pitch in the first place.
Darrell Porter at the plate. 0-1 the count.
I talked to Darrell. He did not play against left-handed pitching down the stretch. There were a number of reasons for that. I guess in the past he's always hit lefties well, but he's going to be a free agent, and he felt that they didn't want his stats to be maybe as good as they could be.
I talked to him also during the season. He was a little down. He just felt that he wasn't getting a real good shot, and it's too bad because I think he's a great competitor.
Well, it's obviously been a very difficult season for him off the field. He began the year at a rehabilitation center, alcohol and drug addiction, had to overcome those problems, made his way back, was named to the All-Star team. A little half swing foul, and the count holds at 0-2.
He's battling up there right now.
Well, he's a lot like Willie Aikens. They may not hit the good pitch, but if you do make a mistake, they're good enough hitters that they're, even if you're right-handed or left-handed, they're going to hurt you.
Frank White is on deck. 1-2. Last pitch clocked at 93 miles an hour. up into shallow left field. Piniella got a late jump, comes in and makes the catch. And hurts himself as Piniella really comes up limping. So Louis making a great play in left. But this one may be costly.
That was a super catch. That was really a great play.
Well, when you dive on AstroTurf, you don't really slide like you do on grass, and it looked like he probably just jammed his knee.
Well, there
you
it
can
is.
see the tear in his uniform. And again, the Yankees making the big play at the right time.
Ford with a little looper out to shallow left field. And so our first defensive gem in the championship series. What a catch.
Great play.
Well, if you go back to the '78 World Series in the playoffs, Lou Piniella has been the guy that's made the outstanding play at the right time for the Yankees, and once again he does it. Hopefully he's not hurt too bad.
So Lou Piniella taking care of Darrell Porter, getting the second out in the inning. The Royals trailing 2-0 in the second. Fortunately, Lou getting up and trying to shake it off.
It's funny, we played them a weekend series in New York, and they had a 5-game lead. We swept the weekend series, and Lou was very disturbed that he wasn't playing more. He said, if they let me play, I can help them win. And towards the end of August and early September, he hit .455 over maybe 20 games. Really helped the Yankees, I guess, ultimately win the pennant.
Similar situation with a man he oftentimes platoons with, and Bobby Mercer. Not playing very much early.
Both of them real clutch players now, both of them.
Take another look now. Ball hit the very shallow left field. Piniella going down hard on his knee, but staying in the game. So all Lou will need when they go back to the dugout between innings is a new pair of pants.
Well, it can't hurt his speed because he doesn't have any.
2 down, 2 on. Frank White. When you look around the league at number 9 hitters, you know you have a pretty good lineup when you've got White hitting 9th.
We used to pitch him on the first pitch, don't give him anything inside because he'll try to pull you. We go outside, get a couple of strikes on him, then come back inside on him. So once he gets 2 strikes on him, he leans out over the plate and slaps the ball the other way.
All right, let's see what pattern is exhibited by Guidry here. High, ball 1.
He's a tough out for a left-hander. I think a right-handed pitcher, the pitch to get him out with is the slider. I think he probably has the highest strikeout ratio of almost any Royal batter.
One and one. Frank White, a very popular fella here in Kansas City. Mrs. White, the White children. 1-1 the count.
Al, the only graduate of Ewing Kauffman, the owner of Kansas City's ball club, to come out of their academy.
Right, it was a great idea. It's been disbanded. As it gets away from Cerrone, the runner's advancing. Otis taking the turn at third, and the ball winds up in the dugout. So Otis is only given third base. That's all. That is the ruling as we see it again. Guidry bouncing one. And you can see Otis advancing to third as the ball rolls out of play. But that's the ruling. You're given third base, and down to second, John Wappen. Now that scored is a wild pitch. Hit in the air to shallow left again. Piniella has to come charging in. Catch and 2-run score. The throw to second is too late. So Lou Piniella, who made the brilliant play, has an easier one here, but can't handle it. Lou Piniella, could it be the sun or what? He looked at Bucky Dent.
No question about it, Al. It looks like the sun's bothering him. Den had a hard time picking up, and Lou lost it right at the end.
So Kansas City tying it with 2 runs here in the second inning. White with a double. And Willie Wilson, 0 for 1. 1-0 the count.
It almost looked like Lou thought that Bucky was going to catch that ball.
It did. But Bucky had to go a long way. Two and 0. Now on Wilson with UL Washington on deck.
You know, Al, if you'll always watch the scoreboard during the season, I tell this to our pitchers. After you score 2 runs or 3 runs, if you can stop that other team, that next half inning, you usually win the ball game. Here the Yankees score 2, Royals come right back with 2.
Getting a break to do it on the double by White. 3-0 pitch in there for a strike.
Well, Ron Guidry's really done his best to get Kansas City back in the game. First of all, he didn't get the leadoff hitter out. Then he walked the second hitter. Then he wild pitched him to second to third. And he didn't get a whole lot of support in the outfield.
3-2.
But he's still throwing awfully well.
That last pitch at 90 miles an hour.
Well, maybe not quite as good as it looked.
3-2 pitch is fouled away.
You know, Al, I always used to hate to take a pitcher out of the ball game when the opposition's hit bloop singles or something off them. If they'd hit line drives, you'd say, well, they're hitting them good. But to take him out of there at any time right now would be ridiculous.
When I checked this year's figures, you hated to take a pitcher out ever.
Oh, really?
3-2 pitch, foul away again. Oakland A's setting several marks this year, of course, for complete games.
Well, my pitching coach falls in love with his pitchers, and he won't allow me to go out there and take him out.
Is it true there'll be no bullpen at all next year physically in Oakland? Put seats out there. 3-2 pitch. Bounce to third. Nice backhand pickup by Rodriguez to throw him out and probably save a run. In the inning, though, the Royals get even. 2 runs, 2 hits, leave 1. Go to the third in game 1. Yankees 2, Royals 2.
This is Ben Jones, and he's been eating the same candy bars as long as he can remember. Ben, could we get you to try Twix candy bar?
Twix? Why should I? I've been eating the same candy bars as long as I can remember.
But do they have a mix?
What?
A mix, Ben. Rich milk chocolate.
Oh, I love chocolate.
Creamy caramel.
Love caramel.
And a delightful cookie crunch.
Crunch?
Yep, that's the mix.
Twix is delicious.
Twix cookie bars, the chocolate candy with a cookie crunch.
Delicious.
I don't know how I'm going to break the news to Charlie Wilson. He needs a whole new engine. $652 just for parts. Look, this is a Fram oil filter, about $6. If you look after your car right, including changing your oil and putting in a new Fram oil filter when you're supposed to, you may never have to face this kind of problem. But the choice is yours. You can pay me now or pay me later.
Watch out. Winter's almost here, and wind's gonna get you, and cold's gonna get you, and high fuel bills are gonna get you, because you still haven't added more insulation to your attic. So do it now. Get more Owens Corning fiberglass insulation and add another layer to put your house in the pink. See your dealer or contractor. Buy more Owens Corning fiberglass insulation now, before winter gets you.
Saturday in the Cotton Bowl, the Oklahoma Sooners, who scored 82 points last weekend, tackle the undefeated Texas Longhorns.
Jim Fry, manager of the Royals. I spoke with him yesterday. Jim, you've got Gura game 1, Leonard game 2, Splittorff game 3. How did you determine the rotation for this series?
Well, in terms of the first pitcher, I picked Gura because he has had very good success against the Yankees. He's 3-0 this year. He's 7-1 lifetime. And I just felt like I was going to go that way, especially if you have to come back with a fifth-game starter. Having the left-hander in Yankee Stadium, I felt, and the fact that Gura has done so well against him was an advantage.
Jim Fry could have gone several different ways, as could Dick Hauser in his rotation selection. Hit in the air to center. Otis, with the glasses down, puts it away, and Dent is gone. So Bucky flies out to begin the third inning. One away, and Bob Watson, the batter. Started to mention before, it's interesting the way some guys always seem to wind up in October play, and others like this man who's had a fine career, many years of course with Houston, last year with the Red Sox. First time ever for Watson, first time ever for Bobby Mercer.
You know, Al, there's a lot of players who never played in the World Series that were great players. It's a shame.
It's incredible, and yet others who were ordinary players and have been in 6 or 7.
Did you ever play in a World Series game, Bill?
Yeah, a couple of them.
Watson hits it in the air to right field. Watson coming on, but he's going to play it conservatively, and the extra base will be taken by Watson as the Bull pulls in at second. So it's very difficult in the outfield, obviously. It is extremely apparent here as Watson plays it very conservatively.
Yeah, again, it's the same problem Reggie had out there. It looks like that sun's bothering everybody out there.
Well, on the turf, you don't want the ball to bounce over your head, but you also, when you play and lay back on the ball, you give the guy 2 bases. I wonder if they have sunglasses on. I know that they had a problem in the other day in Los Angeles, or Maddox for Philadelphia didn't have his sunglasses out there.
Reggie Jackson fouled out in the first inning. The glasses worn by Watson. All you have to do, of course, is flip them down. Otis with the same prescription. I guess. And in left field, there's Wilson. Jackson, it's a bouncing ball down to second. White throws him out. And Watson goes to third.
I think Wilson's keeping his glasses down all the time, isn't he?
We'll check him out in left field. As Eric Soderholm comes up for the Yankees. Martin again in the bullpen for Kansas City. Second time he's been throwing. Soderholm grounding out in the second inning. Oh, and 1. Runner at third, Bob Watson. 2 out, top of the third. Game 1 of the American League Championship Series. The Yankees and the Royals locked up 2-2. 1-1.
It's interesting to notice, Al, that Eric Soderholm is one of the strongest men in baseball. And the last time they pitched him in, and Gura has changed his pattern. Started him off with a breaking ball, now seems to be moving the fastball away. He's the type of hitter you can't stay in any one pattern.
Hit in the air to right field. Let's see if this will be an adventure. Watson is there and makes the catch, and the inning is over. So the Yankees ran the go-ahead run 90 feet from the plate. We played 2.5. Still, Yanks 2, Royals 2.
GE, we bring your day to life. Good morning. We help you face the day. Good morning. Take the pounds away. Good morning. Make you smile. GE, we bring good things to life. We put things close at hand to make the most of your morning time. GE, we bring good things to live in. We bring good things to life.
We asked men to compare the inexpensive Bic shaver to the expensive track tube.
No difference.
No difference.
No difference. No difference.
difference. There's no difference.
The results of the Bic Barber test surprised a lot of people. 58% found Bic shave equal to or better than track juice. Why pay more? Most men we tested felt
No difference.
And the price?
Big difference.
The incredible Bic, still under a quarter.
Most people think Michelin makes a great tire. And we do. But a lot of people think Michelin X tires cost a lot more than other leading radials. And they don't. Michelin didn't get to be the fastest growing tire company in America by making a tire people can't afford. So check with your Michelin dealer. You'll find it's only Michelin standards that are so high, not Michelin prices. Affordability is one more way we put you first.
Tonight on ABC's World News Tonight, a special assignment, Future Wars, fighting on the electronic battlefield. ABC News examines technological breakthroughs in sophisticated weapons that will affect all of our futures and the security of our country. Plus all the news of the day on ABC's World News Tonight. Al Michaels with Billy Martin and Jim Palmer in Kansas City as we go to the bottom of the third inning. Yankees 2, Royals 2. UL Washington, George Brett and Hal McRae facing Ron Guidry. Washington bounced to Rodriguez, his first trip. 1-0.
Jeff Weiner, report to fan accommodations, please.
Jim Fry took over, of course, for that fella, Whitey Herzog. Looking on today, now, of course, in the Cardinal front office, managed the Cardinals for a while this year. And the man who guided the Royals to the divisional title in 76, 77, and 78. 3-0.
I bet he's going to miss that managing.
Well, what do you think? You think he'll be back or what?
No, I don't think so, but it's a great loss for the game of baseball because he was a real good manager.
Herzog desirous of a front office spot, and that's what he's got in St. Louis. Ball 4. So Washington walks. That's the second walk given up by Ron Guidry.
The third baseman.
And George Brett is the batter.
I should be talking to Whitey the next couple of days about some future trades.
Think so? Oh, all right. We've got a scoop now, huh? What are you looking for?
Well, we need some help, a little bit of help, and they need something that we have. So I think we'll be able to talk and make some deals.
We're going to hear it here first?
Well, certainly.
All right. Brett with a double in the first inning. Brett hit .425 against the Yankees this season and drove in 22 runs in 10 games. And the back of the batter's box being defined there by the plate umpire Steve Palermo.
No wonder he hit .390. He was cheating all year.
Token throw. George Brett's mom. Of course, she's got 2 kids playing with Kansas City. Brother Ken, the pitcher, also on the team. Yankee bullpen active right now. Davis throwing. And the throw down to second nails him.
Here's that good move.
Yep. So UL Washington is erased. Another look as Watson throwing down to Dent to nail him 1-3-6.
I don't think Jimmy Fry is very happy about that with George Brett. You walk the leadoff man, you have George Brett coming up exactly the situation you want, and then the guy gets picked off.
Here's the move again now. And he's out easily at second as Brett swings and misses in the count 1-1.
You know, that will disturb the manager once in a while when that happens.
Well, Kansas City, when they steal bases, not only do they have exceptional speed, they will go on a specific pitch, and if you don't throw over there, they're going to steal the base. A lot of times they'll try to beat the throw, even if you throw to first, you don't make a strong throw, they're going to try to beat the ball to second base. Guidry threw the ball with something on it, and they threw him out at second.
2-2. Guidry picked off 5 runners this year. Actually, it's a caught stealing in that case because the runner was thrown out at second. That's the way it officially goes in. But Ron, with his move, was able to erase 5 runners this year.
Well, he's improved his move. He did not have a good one.
2 balls, 2 strikes to count. And Guidry now full with credit. 3-2. So the Yankee bullpen, Davis and Underwood throwing back of Guidry. 3-2 to Brett is high into George's eye. This program is being brought to you as an exclusive presentation of ABC Sports. Let's pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves.
WABC TV, New York.
Al McRae flied out in the first inning. High for a ball. 1-0 the count. Guidry's last pitch clocked at 94 miles an hour.
He's wild high right now, Al. He's throwing too hard, and when he pitches up, that's when he's going to get hurt, and that's when he gets his base on balls. And although he's trying to pitch Brett up in, you can see, but still he's got to keep the ball down to be effective.
Coming up tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern time, game 2 from the vet in Philadelphia. The Astros and the Phillies. Phillies winning last night, 3-1. Greg Luzinski, 2-run homer. Al McRae, he can hurt you with a long ball. Homered in each of the last 3 games of the season. Hit .433 against the Yankees this year. 2-1. McRae's one of those fellows who's found gold. Of course, he started with the Reds and was in 2 playoffs and 2 World Series there, and now in his 4th at KC.
Well, the DH rules really helped him, Al.
McRae, when he was in the National League, played the outfield. He initially was a second baseman.
He played against us in 1970. Outstanding hitter in the 70 World Series.
2-1 pitch, swung on and missed, and the count 2-2.
He can do a lot of things with the bat. He can hit the ball the other way. Like you said, he has home run power. I don't know, Billy, what you would do, but Guidry's been struggling. Would you have him hit and run here? Maybe send Brett?
Well, Brett can run, and this is a contact hitter up there. You can do that, Jim, without any problem.
So we'll watch George with the count 2-2. He doesn't go, and McRae strikes out.
Ron's in a little hurry there.
Yep.
The center fielder, Amos Otis.
Another look now as he takes care of McRae.
And again, there's the slider, the strikeout pitch.
Guidry has now struck out 2, and Amos Otis, the batter. Guidry, no complete games in his last 8 starts, coming out of the bullpen in September. Of course, when you've got Goose Gossage down there, no need to keep your starters in very long, huh?
No, if I had him, I think I'd have used him quite a bit too.
Yeah, I have a feeling.
I think also playoffs are a lot different than regular season game where Guidry pitches 6, 7 strong innings. That's all Dick Hauser wants out of him. I think the fact that he went off the field thinking there were three outs just shows that he's not really has his acute concentration. He's just all over the place. He's throwing low sliders, high fastballs. He's really not on right now. He's throwing the ball awfully hard, but he doesn't have his control.
1-0 the count on Otis. 2 out, bottom of the 3rd. We're tied 2-2. left field and into the corner away from Piniella and bouncing into the seats for a double. And that is a tough break for Kansas City because they would have taken the lead. So Brett has to go back to third, and the Royals will have runners at second and third with a score tied instead of a 3-2 advantage.
It definitely was a bad break for Kansas City. They would have scored one run, and you don't know where the ball is going to kick off their wall. What it would have done. Maybe Amos might have had an inside the park job. You never know.
Amos Otis's wife, her man is now 2 for 2 with a single and a double. Jim Fry, I wonder if he's disputing the call down there.
Well, I think the ruling is if a fan leans over and touches the ball, it's the umpire's judgment whether the player would have scored. Maybe he's disputing the fact whether the ball bounced into the stands or it was touched by a spectator.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine anything else.
Well, he probably felt that the interference.
I don't think there was any question. It looked like it bounced in. I don't think anybody reached that. Here it is again. That wall, by the way, is 12 feet high. Well,
it was in.
It was in there, sure. The man was cradling it. And also we're in Kansas City. It's a tough argument to win, isn't it?
Well, Jimmy he sold used cars, sold real estate, and he sold life insurance. So I'm sure he's trying to talk Ken Kaiser into something out there.
Here it is. Now we can see it from a different angle, and you can tell there's really nothing to argue about. But as Jim said, he's trying to make a sale. Runners at second and third now with John Watson. Drew a walk in the second inning, came in to score.
And they're going to put him on now.
Put him on and go to work on Akins, the left-handed batter. So this will load them up in the third inning. Put the pressure on Willie Akins, who struck out in the second inning. Took a called third strike. So down to first goes John Watson. The bases are loaded with Brett at third.
The first baseman,
Otis at
Willie
second.
Akins.
Watson at first. And here's Akins. Yanks 2, Royals 2. During the regular season, Kansas City won 8 out of 12. 1-0. Cerrone keeping the score tied with a nice play. Here it is.
Well, again, now Ron's got to be very careful with that slider downstairs because they could get away from the catcher.
Get that one up and away, and the count of 2 balls and no strikes. The shadow line now nearing home plate. A strike, and the count 2-1. You can see that Akins, his feet are in the shade. His upper body is in the sunlight. 3-1 the count. Akins at shadow line right out in front of the plate. So it'll inch further and further toward the mound.
I think I put the take sign on right now, Al.
3-1 you would, huh?
I think so.
I think I'd try to throw it down the middle as hard as I could.
Akins swings away, hits it into left field for a base hit. Brett comes in to score. The throw is cut off by Dent. 2-run score. No play anywhere. 4-2 Royals. So Willie Akins, 3-1 pitch, going the other way with it.
Low fastball. Just fights it off the left field. He's awfully strong.
Kansas City battling from behind and now leading 4-2. And Darrell Porter is the batter. And Guidry's fortunate that he was able to pick Washington off. That's one of the 2 outs in the inning. chopper. Randolph has it, throws to first, and the inning is over. But for the Royals, a couple of runs, a couple of hits, and a couple of men left on. We've played 3 in Game 1 at KC. Royals 4, Yankees 2.
It's a tough job keeping everything in this plant from rusting out. That's why we use DeRusto. It's the tough industrial strength paint that protects against rust. So you can imagine what a great job DeRusto does around the house, too. It dries fast, it looks sharp, and it lasts a good long time. You want to get rid of rust? Get DeRusto.
When you want to do it right, you can't go wrong with products from Zap, America's handyman.
You know, it's amazing how similar we are. We have the same last name.
And we both played baseball for the same team.
We even drank the same beer, light beer from Miller.
And we drink it for the same reason. Light has a third less calories than their regular beer.
And it's less filling.
But we drink it because it tastes so great.
Now, I know we're incredibly alike, but don't be confused. We are not identical twins.
I'm at least 2 inches taller than he is.
Make beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
They wanted you to build bridges over rivers, but you had other plans.
And Monte Carlo.
Your car is the strikingly new 1981 Monte Carlo, with the economy of a responsive V6 and fresh, clean, sharply sculpted lines. And you'll choose it because you're proud of who you are.
You and Monte Carlo.
1981 Monte Carlo, a matter of personal pride from Chevrolet.
Tomorrow at 8 Eastern, the Yankees and Royals, Game 2 of the American League Championship Series.
Rick Cerrone hit a home run in the second inning. He'll lead off in the 4th. I visited with Rick yesterday.
Rick, think back now and assess your performance individually, how you felt about your performance during the 1980 season.
Well, it was satisfying because in spring training I set one goal, and that was to play 140 ball games, and I reached that by playing 147. I felt that if I did that, I would look back and say I had a pretty good year because playing for the Yankees, they don't play if you're not doing the job. And we were doing the job. The team was, you know, had a phenomenal year, 103 wins. Just being a part of it's been exciting.
Cerrone hits one to right field and deep and into the corner, but Watson is equal to the task for the out. So Cerrone bidding for his second home run. Going the other way this time. His home run wrapped around the foul pole and left. Hits one to the opposite angle.
The left fielder, Lou Piniella.
Lou Piniella. Lou hit a home run in the second inning. Alan Roth, by the way, went back, checked it all out. First time ever in championship series play, either league, that we've had back-to-back home runs in a game.
That's just unusual in this park. It's a huge ballpark. Tough to hit back-to-back home runs.
And both of them going right down the line.
Al, the argument Fry gave out there was because he thought that the umpire signaled that the fan had touched the ball. That's the reason why he ran out there.
So he was misled by the initial call. 2-0. Good thing about the playoffs, of course, is you have foul line umpires. Ken Kaiser, the umpire in left, so he's a lot closer than an umpire would be in the regular season from third base.
And he's a good umpire. He's a very good one.
2-0 pitch is low, ball 3. There's Kaiser. Well, so far, Billy, you've told us how good Palermo is and how good Kaiser is. Thinking about 81 already, aren't you?
I love them all. I love them all.
Yeah, the season's over.
Up here, they look beautiful.
They got a tough job.
Yes, they do.
No doubt.
Yes, they do.
With managers like you and Earl and some of the other guys.
Actually, I like them.
The third baseman,
I get along well with them.
Rodriguez.
We'll have our arguments out there, but we don't carry it over the next day.
Well, you just saw Piniella walk. You were thinking about carrying it over earlier, though, this year.
Yes, but I thought twice about that.
Here's Rodriguez. Doubling in the second inning. One and all. Well, really, of course, had many fine seasons with Detroit. Initially came up with the Angels back in the late 60s. Then he went to San Diego. And, of course, they had the house cleaning with the Padres in August, and the Yankees picked them up when Nettles contracted hepatitis, and Aurelio took over at third.
Excellent fielder. He hit 3 crucial home runs for him, game winners. It just seems like every time he gets a hit, you remember it.
I had Aurelio at Detroit, and he played tremendous for me over there, and he's got great power, surprising for a small man.
Well, he's what I would call a free swinger. He'll swing at any pitch. 2-0, you know he's going to swing at the ball if it's close.
Hit in the air to center field. Otis going back and makes the catch for the out. So 2 down in the 4th inning with Vanilla back at first base. And Bobby Brown, the batter. Bobby Brown grounding out in the 2nd inning, 0 for 1. Man, it's been a long time in the minor leagues, got shuffled around, finally gets a chance in the bigs.
He was another former Oriole.
That's right.
Started his career with the Orioles. Not at the major league level.
0-1 the count. Bobby Brown, who was initially signed by the Orioles in '72, released, signed by the Phillies, traded to the Yankees, drafted then by the Mets, released, signed by Toronto, reacquired by the Yankees on waivers.
He had a real great year at Rochester under Gene Michaels, and Michaels recommended him very highly to George Steinbrenner, and he's done quite a job for him.
He has, because Rupert Jones, of course, was in center field. As you look at Piniella at first base, Rupert lost a decision to the wall out in Oakland in late August.
I really felt that's when we were going to win the pennant, when he got hurt.
Came around, 1-2. That's when the Orioles were really making their charge, Jim.
Well, we were a half a game back, and Rupert's outstanding defensive player. There's a low curveball that he swings at. Like you said, Billy, he has trouble with a breaking ball. And they lose Jones for the year, and Bobby Brown comes along, gets some big hits, plays defense fairly well. He's not a Rupert Jones in center field. And he's got power. He can hit a couple 2-3 run home runs for you.
1-2 pitch is bounced straight back. Royals 4, Yankees 2. 4th inning. Game 1.
It's got to be tough up there right now, Al, to see with that shadows out there. It's got to be tough.
There you can see it, the perspective shot. Brown in the shade. Pitcher in the background in the sun. Fouled away. A lot of theories on a situation like this. Is it tougher to hit against a guy like Guidry or somebody, let's say, like Tommy John, who changes speeds a lot?
Well, we played the last couple of games in Cleveland, which has the worst shadow problem, and they say the ball leaves the hand white and comes in. You never really see it. All you see is kind of a gray blur. Very difficult for the hitter.
I think they have trouble more on the breaking ball when the shadow's out there.
That's what Pete Rose always used to contend in a twilight game. He'd say that he would rather face Nolan Ryan in the twilight than somebody who would mix him up. Fry again, going to the mound. That's the 2nd visit now. Larry Gura, 2-2 here on Brown. Remember, tomorrow night, the Yankees and the Royals. Dennis Leonard will be on the mound for Kansas City. Their 20-game winner tomorrow. The Yankees will counter with Rudy May, who had a great year, led an ERA. That's tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern time. National League is off tomorrow. When we go into New York for Game 3 on Friday, as you look at Piniella at first base, Tommy John gets the start against Paul Splittor. Inside, ball 3. Full count, 3-2 on Brown.
I think Tommy is very disappointed he wasn't pitching one of the 2 games here.
Absolutely. And the reason was the Yankees did a computer breakdown on John on AstroTurf and figured they'd rather have him pitch on grass. Hit in the air to center field. Amos Otis ready to corral it. And that's that. Fourth inning, no runs, no hits, leave one. We've gone through 3.5 in Kansas City. Royals 4, Yankees 2.
Let's check the scoreboard and see how Coleco's head-to-head electronic baseball stacks up against the competition. Sure, some games have base stealing and pitch selection, but for real two-player action, only head-to-head baseball has computed batting averages for each player, hitting for average or for extra power, 16 pitching variations, including a pitch-out, extra innings scoring, and more. It's no contest. Get head-to-head electronic baseball by Coleco, now that you know the score.
General Motors introduces Computer Command Control, a new system that uses this onboard computer to help GM achieve the highest corporate average fuel economy in its history, while reducing exhaust emissions to the lowest in GM history. From now on, you'll activate this computer when you step on the gas. And it's an all-standard and most optional gasoline engine from Chevrolet, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick, and Cadillac. The computer monitors oxygen in the exhaust, engine speed, and coolant temperature, adjusting the air-fuel mixture to control combustion so that the catalytic converter can minimize emissions. Result, we're helping to clean the air while giving good fuel economy. Computer Command Control, designed and engineered for a changing world.
I'm not surprised at this move right here, Al. I believe that Ron is not as sharp as he has been in the past, and they decided that let's get him out of there now and bring him back. He'll be strong the next time he goes out there.
So, interestingly enough, they go with Guidry in game one, and Ron Guidry lasts only 3 innings as Ron Davis comes out of the bullpen to go to work on Kansas City in the bottom of the 4th inning. I mentioned the reason that Tommy John was not considered as the starter in game number 1. We'll detail that on Friday in our pregame show and look into the Yankee bullpen. And of course, the big man in the bullpen is the Goose sitting right there. Rich Gossage, 33 saves. Of course, it's too early for the Goose here. So Davis comes out of the pen in the 4th.
Tried to get Davis earlier this year in the trade, but George wouldn't turn him loose. But I think this guy can really pitch.
He's got a great arm, sinker slider pitcher, throws hard. He should be tough on this club.
9-3 with 7 saves. Frank White to lead off in the 4th inning. 1-0 the count.
You'll see his fastball really run in towards the right-handers. Won 14 games last year for him. Did a great job.
1-1. Picked up 9 wins, 7 saves this year. White questioning that call. Frank with a 2-run double in the 2nd inning on the looper that dropped in front of Piniella to tie the game. Royals ahead 4-2, bottom of the 4th. Fouled straight back toward us and upstairs. Huh. You guys are ducking like I'm going to get it, huh? Come on, Billy. That's why we got you now.
I left my glove home.
Yeah.
That's right. I remember 1953. I was young, but I was...
Billy he only makes the tough plays, huh?
Right.
One-two pitch. White lines it to left field. Piniella coming on, but plays it on a hop. And Frank is 2 for 2.
Now we'll probably see a steal in this situation. Davis doesn't have the best move in the world over there at first base, and Frank's got good speed, gets a good jump.
So Willie Wilson, the top of the order, 0 for 2. Wilson coming up for the first time left-handed. White this season has stolen 19 bases in 25 attempts. Outside as he runs up to bunt. 1-0. The Royals love to run. Led the league in steals with 186.
This ball's way outside.
That was
Watch
no
the
pitch
ball
out.
run. No. I think they'll wait 1 out. I would like to. I know if I was managing, I'd like to take advantage of the hole.
Plus, you got a fellow up there. It's hard to double up.
Oh. He's going to have to hit it right at Randolph. or Bucky Dent at short.
1 ball and 1 strike. There he goes. Little chopper fouled away. 1 and 2. So Frank White was moving on the pitch.
There again, Al, you had the shortstop covering second base. If he hits any type of a weak grounder on that side of the infield, it would have been first and third situation.
And then after the next pitch, it would have been second and third.
Yep, he would have stolen it.
Well, when a guy gets 230 hits, you're not afraid to hit and run with him by any means.
Struck him out. So Wilson down on strikes, and Willie is now 0 for 3. Ron Davis getting a big out. 92 miles an hour clocking on that last pitch by Davis.
Too shabby.
Well, I think Dick Hauser realized how badly Ron Guidry was throwing. He didn't have any control with his fastball or slider, and he's at a point where he really has to keep his club in the game.
UL Washington, the batter. Fouled away. 0-1. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. There's the scoring summary. Cerrone Pinella back-to-back homers. KC ties it. Bottom of the 2nd. Then in the 3rd, Willie Aikens. A base hit to drive in 2. UL Washington at the plate. Oh, and 1 the count. One and 1 the count. UL at the plate and misses Washington in the stands. Quite composed. Royals leading at 4-2 with White at first base and 1 down.
Not an exceptionally big lead, not even out on the turf.
And they pitch out.
You know, Al, we practice that in spring training with the catcher and the pitcher. Every 5th pitch is a pitch out, so they get used to throwing it.
Do you come back with another one? Not in this situation necessarily, but do you like them back to back?
I do.
There he goes. The pitch is a strike. The throw down to second is offline. And White in at second. That's something you see so often. The pitch out doesn't go. Next pitch goes.
Well, a lot of times if the runner's on his own, he's going to show you that he can make it. And then usually if it comes from the sign from the manager, his ego gets up too, and he says, well, I'm going to show him, I'm going to steal now.
So Frank White in scoring position with 1 out. 2-2 the count on Washington. And on deck is Brett. Hit to the left side and by Rodriguez. White had to hold, so he'll stop at third as Pinella runs it back in. Rodriguez was eaten up by that one. Runners at first and third with George Brett coming to the plate.
There's that artificial turf for you.
Sure.
Rudio's not used to it.
The third baseman, George Brett.
Rodriguez angling over toward his left and backing up a bit. And so runners at first and third, and Brett the batter. Brett not only leading the league in hitting this year, but also in slugging percentage. Fouled away. Yankee infield at double play depth.
Here's another question for you, Billy. Do you think they're going to run now? If they run, that leaves first base open. There's a possibility they may put Brett on and pitch to McRae.
I wouldn't run now, Jim, because I'd want that hole for Brett to hit through over there. No, I would.
The 0-1 to George is outside. 1-1.
I would send the runner, Al, a little later on the count, like 2 strikes and 2 balls where you want to keep out of the double play. Then I'd send the runner, but I wouldn't do right now where he has a shot to hit that hole.
We saw White at third, and that was Washington at first. 1-1. 2-1 the count.
How did you pitch George in Oakland this year? You had a lot of success with him. I know he hit over 400 against the Orioles.
He hit 233 against us. We changed our pattern on him. We never pitched him one way because he's too smart of a hitter. He'll adjust and really hurt you.
Chopper foul. I'll tell you, you throw out that 233 against Oakland, and Brett winds up the year hitting 406. Any of your pitchers have particular success against Brett?
All of them did.
All of them.
Actually, all of them did.
When you hit 233.
Of course, you got to give a lot of credit to our outfielders, too. They ran down some line drives.
Henderson, Murphy, and Armas. There's something. 2-2 pitch is hit in the air to left field, curling into the corner, and it is foul. Just foul. And that would have scored 2. Play on I Love New York, huh?
It says it all. Seems to me, Billy, they're pitching him away and not really playing him that far around left field.
Well, I think that George has hurt them inside. He's going downtown about 3 or 4 times against the Yankees, and he's hurt them with a long ball, so they look like they are pitching away, Jim.
I think if I was Lou Piniella, I'd be over a couple of steps and left because he can really drive the ball left field.
If you're going to pitch him that way, you got to play him the same way.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 2 on, 4-2 Royals, 4th inning. Grounded to Randolph. To Dent 1. Back to first. In time for a big double play. Washington went in hard, and Bucky got the throw over anyway. See it again. A big play. Starts out like a tailor-made double play. And then Dan has to fight off Washington to get him. They don't score in the 4th. We go to the 5th. Still, Royals 4, Yankees 2.
Allstate challenges you. Find your homeowner's insurance policy. Then bring it in and compare.
I personally accept Allstate's challenge.
Because all homeowners insurance is not alike. Allstate could show you ways to get more.
We'll be going to the 5th inning here at Royal Stadium. And I believe during the inning break it was announced that the back-to-back home runs by Cerrone and Piniella, while being the first in the American League Championships, were not the first in Championship Series play. They made the announcement when they hit them that it was the first time back-to-back homers had been hit in Championship Series play. But I believe a correction was made. We're waiting right now for shortstop UL Washington to get on the field. The Yankees will have the top of the batting order. Randolph, Dent, and Watson. Willie has doubled and popped up.
Leading off for the Yankees, the second baseman, Willie Randolph.
Royals 4 runs on 7 hits. The Yankees 2 runs on 5 hits. Plate umpire Steve Palermo. Holding time. Not for us, certainly. Waiting for groundskeeper George Toma to come out with something. And Randolph discovers doesn't have enough pine tar on the bat handle.
You know, it's amazing. Now, they'll stop a ball player from going back, picking up a little pine tar to try to ply the tools of his trade and do a little bit better. But they'll also allow the game to be orchestrated.
I know what you mean. And again, we say not for us. The pitch to Randolph now as we are ready for action. Strike 1. Gora has been on the ropes, but he's still pitching. And Guidry is gone. Another breaking ball over. Strike 2.
Big Willie thought that pitch was outside. Once again, we mentioned the pitcher coming out of the bright sunshine, pitching into the shadows, and you've really got to be careful with the bat. You can't take anything close, especially with 2 strikes on it. Umpire has just as tough a time seeing that ball as a batter.
That's strike 3. Randolph on 3 pitches is called out.
That plate's about 25 inches now. But you've got to realize that.
That is the first strikeout for Larry Gora. He'll work now to Bucky Dent. The Royals lead 4-2 here in the 5th inning. Dent sacrificed Randolph to third in the 1st inning after Randolph had doubled. Bucky flied to center in the 3rd. Strike 1. Beauty and the Beast. Strike 2.
Herrera had been having a bit of problems through the first throw of 4, but now it looks like he's got his stuff and his control back.
Times you let a guy off the ropes, you never get him again. On the ground and through. Base hit for Dent. Wilson gets the ball in to second base, and Dent is on. That is base hit number 6 for the Yankees. And their first single. First 5 hits had been 3 doubles and a pair of homers. Bob Watson. With Randolph at third in the 1st inning, Watson grounded out. In the 3rd, Bob doubled to right field when Watson let the ball fall in front of him, and Watson ran a single into a double. A ball. Dent at first. Off-speed pitch. 2 balls and no strikes. The Yankees scored in the 2nd on back-to-back home runs by Cerrone and Piniella. Popped it up into shallow center. Otis coming in. Two out.
The right fielder, Reggie Jackson.
Now Gora will pitch to Reggie Jackson. Twice in the game with men in scoring position, Jackson has made out. He flied out in the 1st, grounded out in the 3rd. Swing, strike 1.
And here's that pitch again. Gura will throw Jackson a lot of sliders. See that ball running away from Jackson. He swung under it. He throws Jackson the fastball. It'll be up and in and probably out of the strike zone just to move him off the plate, as he likes to throw Jackson the slider, keep the ball away, and change speeds away. This might be a little change of speed away here. Time you start flipping those fingers, it's usually something that isn't fast. Curveball, change up. They went back away from that sign, though.
Way away from him, but with some mustard on it. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs, a runner at first. The Yankees trail by 2 runs in the ball game. Bucky Dent at first base. Akins holding him on. Another one way away from Jackson. 2 balls and a strike. Gura has walked 1 and struck out 1.
one thing about Gurr, he won't give in, Frank. As we look at Akins now playing behind Den at first base, he won't give in. He'll keep giving you that junk, the slider. He won't throw anything over the middle of the plate. He uses the corners. And when you hit, you've got to realize that. You can't say, well, he's behind the count, I'm going to get a fastball right here, because he's not going to give it to you.
One reason Gurr won 18 games this year, but I'm surprised he went into that late season slump. Three and two count now on Jackson. So Dent will be running with 2 outs.
Gurr does his best pitching against a team like the Yankees with 3 swingers. Guys who wait on the ball and hit the ball where it's pitched, they give him a lot of trouble.
Gurr shook off one side. Dent is ready to go. And Jackson has requested time. Dent goes, and Jackson is called out on strike. So runs, a base hit, and a man left. In the middle of the 5th inning, it's Kansas City 4, the New York Yankees 2.
The Yankees won 22 World Series. No other teams come close. The Steelers won 4 Super Bowls. No other teams come close. American Airlines has been the #1 choice for domestic travel in 3 straight surveys of frequent flyers. No other airlines won even once. The main reason we won, service, and the American team that delivers it.
We're American Airlines, doing what we do best.
I worked hard for my money, so I hold on to it as long as I can. Case in point, Ever-Ready flashlight batteries. About half the cost of Duracell or Ever-Ready Alkaline. And they're dependable, with a name you can trust. So I tell Graves, look for the cat, man, in the economy 4-pack. Per battery, that costs me even less.
Save with the cat, that's where it's at. Ever-Ready flashlight batteries.
The Toyota Celica Super is life in the fast lane that's almost beyond belief. But the Super's not the only way to join the fast crowd. There's a now classic sporty Celica GT Coupe and the GT Liftback. And for those who would like a sporty Celica for a little less money, there's the ST, the lowest price Celica. To find out which one's for you, drive a Celica. Then just trust your feelings. A Celica selection. Toyota.
Well, some VIPs have just been introduced to the fans here at Royal Stadium. Baseball Commissioner Bowie Kuhn here for the ball game, and also American League President Lee MacPhail. And the turnstiles counted 42,598. That's the paid attendance for this afternoon's first Championship Series game in the American League. Seating capacity at Royal Stadium listed as 40,628, and today's paid attendance 42,598. Al McRae, the designated hitter and cleanup hitter for the Royals, will be followed by Amos Otis and John Wathan as we go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. McRae has flied out and struck out. He's facing Davis for the first time. Foul back. McRae, a good opposite field hitter. One time they tried to make a pull hitter out of McRae to add some more power. Have a successful hitter. I never understood why they try to change him. That's a strike, and it's 0-2.
Well, that's what they're trying to do with Al Cowens at Detroit now. Trying to make him a home run hitter.
I don't know that much about baseball, but I have to disagree.
Well, it's hard to change a guy's habits after he's been around the big league 7 or 8 years. In fact, after he's gone through the minor leagues, I think it's got to be a natural transition, something that can't be taught.
Foul back. Well, right here, didn't Cowens hit, what, 24 home runs, I believe, one year. The on-deck batter is Amos Otis, who is 2 for 2. A ball and 2 strikes on McRae. Just outside. In just a few moments, as the sun goes down a little bit more, the hitter is going to be in sunshine again for just a little while as it comes through the stands. Foul back. 2 ball, 2 strike count on McRae. Ron Guidry pitched the first 3, allowed the 4 runs on 5 hits. Davis gave up 2 hits, but got out of trouble in the 4th inning when the Yankees turned a double play for him. Struck him out. The second strikeout for Davis, and the second time McRae has struck out. Amos Otis opened the 2nd inning with a single, stole second, went to 3rd on a wild pitch, and both he and Wathan scored on a double by Frank White. In the 3rd inning, Otis doubled and came in to score another run.
I don't think he'll be as aggressive here against Ron Davis. There are certain right-handers that Otis does not like to swing on, and he'll stay back. He won't go and get the ball.
Fouled away.
But against left-handers, just about every left-hander, he'll be more aggressive. He doesn't worry about the ball being on him. He'll go and hit it. But he's a little more defensive against right-handed pitching. In fact, there was rumor that they had certain right-handers that Otis didn't have to play against. A guy like Palmer, Gossage.
Foul is out of play. Oh, you just mentioned 2 right-handers I wouldn't want to hit against.
You got to hit against everybody once you put that Major League uniform on. Of course, it's a little bit different now.
No ball, 2 strike count on Otis. And Davis works it just outside, 1 and 2.
He hangs back, Frank. He won't go that pitch on the outside corner.
Against right-handers during the season, the Royals won 56, lost 38. Against left-handers, 41 and 27. One-two count, 1 out, nobody on. That is slicing foul, out of play. No chance for Jackson. Game number 2 tomorrow will be a night game. We'll be on at 8 o'clock New York time. Right center, Jackson is there. And there are 2 out. Earlier in the game, Jackson and Brown got a little crossed up on a ball hit in that territory, but it was caught by Bobby Brown. 2 outs, and John Wathan has walked twice, scored once. Low and in. The Royals lead 4-2 here in the bottom half of the 5th. 2 balls and no strikes. Yankees set up to the opposite field for Wathan, and that got the inside corner. Set the defense to the right side and still pitch him in. Almost hit him. Yogi Berra among the others there in the corner of the Yankee dugout. Coach Clyde King, Coach Jeff Torborg. Yogi standing. King on the top step. Torborg kneeling next to King, and Wathan almost hit again and is on. Wathan walks for the third time.
You don't like this guy up there with a right-handed pitcher. A right-handed low ball pitcher, sinker ball pitcher, Ron Guidry, and Akins likes to lift that low pitch, especially against right-handers.
Against Guidry, Akins struck out and singled to left field. His single to left drove in 2 runs. Lee McPhail.
It's Joe Cronin.
And Joe Cronin.
Former president of the American League. Hall of Famer. They say he was a great shortstop. The old Washington Senators.
Strike 1.
Sometimes you like to see some of the old-timers play. I think it's one thing the modern player misses. Sort of compare, look, watch the old-timers play a little baseball. I would have liked to have seen Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig.
Oh, I would too. I would like to have seen DiMaggio. Not that he was before my time, but I was never in the area.
Well, I saw Joe play. Great player. Did everything effortlessly. Good hitter. Great outfielder. Good base runner. He did everything you had to do to be a great baseball player. The great baseball player that he was.
Right back to Davis. He didn't know he had it. And he throws Akins out. No runs, no hits, a walk and a man left. We've completed 5. The score, Kansas City 4, New York 2. Well, the Yankees will come to bat in the 6th inning. Eric Soderholm, Rick Cerone, and Lou Piniella will be up against left-hander Larry Gora. The grounds crew under head groundskeeper George Toma came out after the 5th inning. Redid the chalk lines on the dirt part of the infield, that is around the sliding pits at the first base and third base and around home plate. They've really beautified this ballpark, not that it needed beautifying, for this championship series. Soderholm has grounded out to short and flied to right field. Strike 1.
Yeah, Gura's been getting ahead of the Yankees lately. Last time he was in trouble was back in the 3rd inning.
Inside. Gura pitches as if there were no effort at all to it. Two balls and a strike.
I think part of the key offensively, at least, to beating the Royals, Frank, you got to get in that bullpen. Quisenberry is about their only stopper, and you'd like to get him out there as quickly as you can, as early in a ball game, and as often as you can in a best-of-5 series.
3 balls and a strike now on Soderholm. Gura has gotten tougher as the game progressed. Deep in the hole and off the glove of UL Washington. Soderholm is on. So a leadoff single for Soderholm will be the Yankees' 7th hit of the game.
And we'll watch it again. Here's Washington moving to his right in the hole. Off the heel of the glove and bounced out.
Even had he fielded that ball,
he might have gotten Soderholm. Soderholm really doesn't run that well, but I think what we see here is a different ball game. A ball game played on this artificial surface. That ball was playable on regular grass, but here seemed to take off a lot. It's just a different ball game playing on this thing.
Here's Cerone with Soderholm on. Nobody out. Strike 1. Cerone homered in the 2nd. Fly to right field as Wathan went deep into the corner to make the catch in the fourth. And again, Rennie Martin is up in the Royals bullpen. Soderholm at first. Down low. Gore will try to make Cerrone hit the ball on the ground and rely on his good infield. Rennie Martin has been up and down like a yo-yo out there in the Royals bullpen. Two balls and one strike. Appeared in the second inning that Gore hung a curveball to Cerrone. Pitch was up and Cerrone hit it into the left field seats. Royals add a left-hander to the bullpen. Nice play by Brett, and they've got one safe at first. Excellent play by George Brett. Great play by Brett. That could be the play of the ball game defensively right there for the Royals.
And here is again another breaking ball. Cerrone beats down the third baseline. Brett backhanding here. He fires that ball to Frank White. They almost made two. There's Soderholm trying to roll Frank White. And Cerrone beats the relay back to first base. And here it is again. Soderholm going to the bag and just rolling a little bit on White. And flips him, but White got the throw away.
Well, there's an out with a runner at first, and the batter will be Lou Piniella, who has homered and walked. Rennie Martin has been joined in the Royal bullpen by Ken Brett. Down low, had the plate downstairs. Piniella drove his home run into the left field seats following Cerrone's homer in the second. In the fourth, Piniella walked. Ball and a strike. The Yankees have had at least a base runner every inning, a hit in every inning except for the fourth.
And they've got to hurry and get a run, Frank, to get within one late innings. I think it's very important to go late innings down a run rather than two if you're going to be down. Puts a lot of added pressure on the Royals.
I tell you, that play a moment ago by George Brett took a lot of pressure off the Royals. Foul ball. Cerrone back to first. 1-2 count on Piniella. See that tear in Pinella's left pants leg around the knee, where he hit the deck in left field, making a catch earlier in the game. Foul to the right side. Piniella believes the momentum the Yankees had coming down the stretch would help them in the playoff series. By the same token, he would feel that the Royals, having wrapped up the Western Division so early, would be hurt a bit in the series. Piniella cited the fact that in 1976 it was really a struggle for the Yankees after they won their division early. 77 it was tough, but 78 when they had to play the Red Sox in a playoff game, they took 3 out of 4 from Kansas City. 2 balls, 2 strikes. in that little strip of sunshine across home plate. Struck him out. The third strikeout for Cora. Watch that pitch again. See if it doesn't look like it's low and in. It is well out of the strike zone. Low and inside on Piniella.
He cut a slider, sort of like Guidry's slider, only not quite as fast. Ball looks like a strike ball. All of a sudden dips down and in on right-handers, down and away from left-handers.
You talk about cutting the slider. It's the way he releases the ball. Is that it?
Just like a pass. Like a quarterback throws a pass, only you bring the hand down, the ball will go down and in for you.
It's like you're pulling down a window shade.
Well, sort of. More like somebody throwing a pass right down in the ground rather than trying to throw it for distance.
Rodriguez bounces the first pitch to Washington, and that retires the Yankees. No runs, a base hit, a man left, and now in the middle of the sixth, it's still Kansas City 4 and the Yankees 2.
Right through the very heart of it.
That these people are just starved. Now, they've been in the playoffs 3 times before, and the Yankees have won it 3 times before. I tell you, Bill White, they have some great sports fans, and right now, this time of year, great baseball fans here in Kansas City. They got out of their way to promote their ball club. Right now, they are dancing in the aisles to the organist. We'll be going to the bottom half of inning number 6.
Leading on for the Royals, the catcher, Darrell Porter.
Darrell Porter hit a ball to left field that Piniella made a great catch on, coming in toward the infield. Diving catch of the ball, really. That's when Piniella hurt the left knee. Second time up, Porter grounded out to second base. Jim Fry studied long and hard before he decided Porter would catch this first game. He was leaning toward John Wathan. Strike 1. Bucky Dent. Plenty of time and throws him out. 1 away. It has been an errorless ball game. Frank White. 2 for 2, a double, a single, 2 runs batted in, and a stolen base. White tied the ball game up with a little looper into left field that Piniella could not get to. Dent did not get to the ball. Dropped in for a 2-base hit and drove in the tying runs in the second. Ron Davis came into the ball game after Guidry had pitched the first 3. All 4 runs charged to Guidry. On the left side, Rodriguez in toward the mound and makes the catch.
The left fielder, Willie Wilson.
Rodriguez may give way at third base tomorrow night to Greg Nuttles with a right-hander due to pitch for Kansas City. Willie Wilson has been kept off the base, grounded out twice, and struck out. But the Royals lead 4-2. Ball 1. Rodriguez made an excellent play on Wilson back in the second inning. Foul back off Cerrone's mask. 1 ball, 1 strike. I tell you, this gentleman has made himself into quite a ball player. As a rookie, he had all the raw talent, the great speed. But now he's a player. Knows what to do with all that talent. Two balls, 2 strikes. Davis, since coming into the game, has allowed 2 hits. Walked 1, struck out 2. Foul ball was just over the Yankee dugout, and they're counting heads back there in the stands. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The Royals lead 4-2 here in the 6th inning. 184 singles for Wilson during the season. An American League record. Only the 2nd man in baseball history to get 100 hits, both left-handed and right-handed, in the same season. Louis Tiant. Quick shot of Tiant, scheduled to pitch game number 4. Past the mound, Randolph's got it, and he is out at first base. Excellent play by Willie Randolph. An off-balance throw to get the speedy Willie Wilson in a very, very close play.
Good way through the ball game here in Kansas City, and the Royals lead the Yankees by a score of 4-2. The Royals have 4 runs on 7 base hits. They have played airless baseball, and the Yankees 2 runs on 7 base hits have also played airless baseball. And here in the 7th inning, the Yankees will have Bobby Brown, Willie Randolph, and Bucky Dent up against Larry Cora, who seems to have gotten through his bad innings and now has a 4-2 lead. Yankees got their 2 runs in the 2nd inning, back-to-back home runs by Rick Cerone and Lou Piniella. The Royals tied it in the bottom half of the 2nd inning. A looping double by Frank White, scoring Otis and Wathan, and then they went ahead with 2 more in the bottom half the 3rd. Willie Mays Aikens driving in 2 runs. Here's Bobby Brown, 0 for 2 against Gura. Brown has bounced to second, flied to center field. And Gura is low, ball 1.
I still feel, Bill White, that there's going to be an explosion one of these last 3 innings. Hey, Yankees?
Yankee wives. Sally John in the middle there. A ball and a strike on Brown. Well, they've got Dan Quisenberry throwing in the bullpen. I think one of the keys, Scooter, they've got to make the Royals use him as much as possible. Here's Quisenberry. Little underarm thrower. Into right, and Wathan got the glasses down, backing up. 1 away. John Wathan making the catch. We might see in late innings another right fielder out there.
Second baseman, Willie
Doesn't
Randolph.
look like he gets a jump, but he sure goes and gets that ball. Made a great catch on the one Cerone hit to deep right field, too.
I think he's got speed. He takes those long strides, and it doesn't look like he's getting there, but he's eating up a lot of ground. Willie Randolph, the batter, he doubled in the 1st inning, popped to shortstop in the 2nd, struck out in the 5th. Willie's 1 for 3. Yankees left Randolph stranded at 3rd base in the 1st inning. And Gura misses. Yankees had shots through the first 3 innings to put Gura away. Did not do it. He has settled down a bit now. Although the Yankees have left at least 1 man on through the first 6. It's 1-1. In fact, they've left a man on in each of the first 6 innings. Royals, for the first time, did not leave anybody on. Bottom of the 6th. So both teams have left some men on base. A 1-2 on Randolph. Larry Gura, 7-1 lifetime against the Yankees. He's got a 1-ball, 2-strike count on Willie Randolph with 1 out and nobody on in the 7th inning. Royals ahead 4-2. 2-2. Yankees won 103 games this year. Kansas City won 97. The only other team in baseball with 100 wins, the Baltimore Orioles. They ended up 3 games behind the Yankees. 3-2 on Randolph. There's George Thoma, who is in charge of the ground crew here. Thoma gets as much ink as the players.
Yeah.
Popped up, shallow left center. Amos Otis calling. He's the center fielder. Fights his son for out number 2. I guess both teams will be glad to play tomorrow night. They won't have to fight the sun.
Yeah, they play so seldom in the daytime here. Been a lot of problems, especially in the outfield on those fly balls.
Bucky Dent, the batter. He singled his last time up. Fly to center field in the 3rd, sacrificed in the 1st. Dent is 1 for 2 in the ball game. See the big crowd here. It's a new record, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
In Kansas City. As Dent takes a strike. Gura has been getting the first pitch over. That allows him a lot of leeway. He can play around with the second pitch. As we look at Dick Hauser. Base hit. White couldn't get to it. White slipped as he went for the ball, and Otis will have to play it in. Bucky Dent picks up his second base hit, and the Yankees 8th off Gura.
Bob Watson.
Well, you got to hit Larry. He's going to keep that ball away, go that way, and Dent went with him. Now here's Watson. Bob had a chance to drive in a run in the 1st inning. He had the Randolph at 3rd base and only 1 out, but he bounced right to Brett, who held Randolph and threw Watson out. Then Bob doubled to right field in the 3rd, flied to center field in the 5th. Watson with 13 home runs this year and 68 runs batted in. They're 2 outs. And once again, Gura keeps the ball away from the Yankee batters. This time, Bob Watson. And Jackson's on deck. Base hit right field. And Dent will go to 3rd. Watson hurries that ball into second base and keeps Watson at first base. So Yankee runners at 1st and 3rd. There are 2 outs, and the batter's Reggie Jackson.
Reggie Jackson.
Well, we'll see if Mr. October, as we look at this again, and as Bill told you, Gura pitches that way, and normally Watson goes the opposite field. He did that well. It's a good play by Watson, holding it to a long single.
Jim Fry's going on. Do you think he'd take the left-hander out pitching to Jackson?
No.
On Quisenberry?
No, I don't think so. Actually, Gura has handled Jackson very well all 3 times, striking him out the last time on a 3-2 curveball that Reggie took. But we know Reggie, how he can rise to the occasion.
Well, this is an occasion.
Well, it really is. This is a happening.
Looking at Quisenberry still throwing out there. You see Ted Abernathy, the last fellow I remember throwing like this, underhanded?
Oh, yes, I saw him many times. I haven't seen him lately. You mean
No,
today?
I mean, did you,
yeah,
did you see him
yes,
pitch?
yes.
Of course, he was with the old Washington Senator,
Yeah.
wasn't he? You ever bat against him? No, he 57.
No, I didn't bat against that. That is the man of the moment. George Steinbrenner looking on.
The Yankees have runners at 1st and 3rd. There are 2 outs here in the 7th inning. And Kansas City leads 4-2. And Gura misses outside. Jackson is fouled out. He is bounced out and struck out.
Report the fan accommodation, please.
The home runs hit by Cerrone and Pinella. The first home runs given up by Gura to the Yankees this year. As we look at Dent at 3rd. Watson at 1st. 1-1.
Gura has pitched Jackson beautifully. He knows Reggie wants to pull the ball. And Reggie's trying to pull that outside pitch, and he goes to left field. He's got enough power to hit over that left field fence. Wilson, look at how shallow Willie
Well,
Wilson.
if he could get a tweener toward left field, 2 runs, which, well, I don't know. Watson, I don't think he would score from 1st. He's not that quick. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Jackson. Larry Gura trying to pitch his way out of trouble here in the 7th inning. There's Dennett third, Watson at first base, 2 outs. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Reggie Jackson. They're going to keep the ball away. Frank White will play at the first base and second. Another down the side. Yankees, no runs on 2 base hits and 2 men left on base. We're going to the bottom half of the 7th. Kansas City 4, the Yankees 2.
If I can. All right, part of the record-setting crowd for Kansas City. And the Yankees trailing 4-2 go into the bottom of the 7th inning. It'll be UL Washington, George Brett, and Hal McRae. Ron Guidry started this ball game, but it definitely was not Guidry's day. It's not real sharp. Ron only went 3 innings, which he gave up 5 hits, walked 4, and the walks hurt him. Matter of fact, 2 of the men he walked scored. Struck out only 2 and was charged with all 4 runs. Davis has done a good job holding the Royals in tow. And should the Yankees come back, then they got the goose out in the bullpen. All right, William.
UL Washington will lead off against Ron Davis here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. UL has bounced out. He's walked and singled. He's 1 for 2. Said he's got under his eyes.
I don't know, besides that toothpick in his mouth.
It's got to take a guy half hour to dress now. And a strike from Davis. Ron's been in there since the 4th inning. And as Phil mentioned, he has done an excellent job. He's given up no runs on just 2 hits, both singles. 2 strikes on Washington. Got out of trouble in the 4th inning when he got George Brett to bounce into a twin killing. Close play at first base. But they got Brett. One and 2. Yankees have out-hit the Royals 9-7, but the Royals have outscored the Yankees 4 runs to 2, and it's getting late. We're in the bottom half of the 7th here at Royal Stadium. That's a foul ball. Oh, that's close.
Bill Haller right on the line. Had the best view of it.
And Gordon McKenzie, the third base umpire, did not argue. I think I might have.
You think so?
Yep. Oh, the count's still 1 ball and 2 strikes on UL Washington. Of course, they've got enough umpires to see everything. Nothing should be able to go on the ballpark they can't see. They've got 6 of them. Got the head of American League umpires Dick Butler in the seats. So they've got everything covered.
You know who's here? Bill White. I don't know whether you know him, but Joe Cronin.
Sure, he's down sitting with Lee McPhail.
Oh, I saw him outside our television booth a little while ago. Man, I played against Joe when he was managing and playing shortstop for the Red Sox. And then he managed for the Red Sox later on and didn't play. And I played a lot of golf with him, and he looks great.
Didn't he also play with the Washington Senators?
Oh, yes, that's who he started with. Yep. You talk about a hitting shortstop. Oh, he was one of the best.
Just telling, we're talking to Frank Messer and mentioning that you'd really like to see, I would have liked to have seen some of the old-timers play.
Oh, they were great.
2-2 on Washington. I mentioned Ruth, Gary.
You never got to see them, huh?
Nope.
Oh, man, you missed something.
I think I stopped around Joe G's time. Great player. Saw Joe near the end of his career. Got him looking. Fastball just lifted the outside corner on the knees. Washington a strikeout victim. That's the third strikeout for Ron Davis. And here's George Brett. Brett has doubled, walked, and scored, grounded into a double play. He's 1 for 2. And takes a strike. Watch him swing the bat, Bill. Doesn't look like he has that zip in the bat that he had before he suffered that broken hand.
No, it really doesn't. Ooh, that's the best cut he's had right there. Fouled it off to left.
Came out before the ball game and had extra hitting. He hit extra early. We came out early, and then he also hit with the regular. So he evidently is having a bit of trouble with his timing. Hit .390 on the year, George Brett. Waste pitch outside, 1-2.
Yeah, that's a pretty good sign. President Brett declares war on the Yankees.
He hit that one well. And that ball is gone. Well, we said he wasn't swinging the bat well, but he got the ball out of the plate and drilled it into the over the wall in deep left center field. And the Royals now lead 5-2.
Well, the extra batting practice really paid off. Looked like he was swinging the bat. Look at that. You can't blame him. Deep left center. We'll look at it again. Boy, perfect stride. Kept his eye right on the ball and back on that beautiful grassy turf back there near the Yankee insignia and the Royals. Right on the hill.
They're trying to get out of the, trying to get Brett out of the dugout to take a ball. Here he comes.
What a year.
Royals now lead it by 3. And Hal McRae's the batter.
He's giving Brett a lot of time to enjoy that home run. Uh-oh, somebody threw an apple from the upper deck. And Steve Palermo says, get over here, some of the ground crew, and clean that up.
Well, he's told him don't do it anymore, please. That's, you can get hurt. Something thrown that far. Here's McRae, 0 for 3, strike 1. McRae struck out his last 2 times up.
You don't usually see that at this ballpark. They had a lot of problems out in Dodger Stadium in the final game.
Getting to be contagious.
Yeah.
Fans are reacting. Dodgers used to like to brag they had the best fans in the world.
Yeah.
No balls, 2 strikes on McRae. Royals leading 5-2, bottom half the 7th inning. That home run by Brett, the 8th base hit for the Royals. The 3rd off Ron Davis. The first off Davis since back in the 4th inning. 1-2 on McRae.
Oh.
And McRae is hit by Brett. It's a breaking ball. He'll go to first base.
Ball slipped right out of Davis's hands, as Bill said. He tried to throw the breaking pitch. Watch this.
The center fielder, Amos Open.
Yeah, if you're going to get hit, that's the kind of pitch to get hit with, a breaking ball.
So McRae takes his time going to first base. There's 1 away. And Amos Otis is the batter. He's 2 for 3. He scored twice, and he's stolen a base. So he's had a pretty good afternoon. There's Brett.
Cerrone reminding Davis to keep an eye on McRae. some action in the Yankee bullpen.
And they've got him picked off. And Bucky Dent puts a tag on McRae. Well, the Royals really gambling on the base paths. They just figure you're not going to throw that ball there and start running.
Well, they're 500 on the day. They've had 2 stolen bases and 2 men picked off first. This was very close. Tough play for Watson so he doesn't hit the run. It got to be a quick tag by Bucky.
Well, there are 2 outs now. They count 1-0 on Otis. Right to Randolph at second. That'll retire the side. Kansas City picks up another run on the home run by George Brett. And at the end of 7, the Royals lead the Yankees 5-2.
Well, you see the little cleanup truck down there trying to get up the debris of that apple that was thrown down. And George Brett got a standing ovation when he went out to third base. As we get ready for the top of the 8th inning, and the Yankees need 3 to tie, Bill.
All right, Phil, we'll have Eric Soderholm, Rick Cerrone, and then Louis Pinella do up against Larry Gura.
Gura's had 8 right-hand batters in this ball game. Just the 1 left-hander, Jackson. He's handled Jackson perfectly, 0 for 4 today.
So Soderholm, who is 1 for 3, leads off. Yankees have left at least 1 man on through the first 7. And they have stranded to 8 overall. Now tomorrow, Denny Leonard scheduled for Kansas City, Rudy May for the Yankees. Game time 8 o'clock. Game 2 of this 1980 American League Championship Series. Then the teams will fly into New York and they'll play there on Friday night. Tommy John scheduled for the Yankees. Possibility of Paul Splittorff for Kansas City. And Soderholm takes inside, ball 1. We're at the top of the 8th. Royals leading by 3. And 1-1. Into right center. Wafting over there, the right fielder. And there's 1 away.
The catcher, Rick Cerrone.
And here's Cerrone. Rick Cerrone hit a home run in the 2nd inning with nobody on. Then fly to right field in the 4th inning and forced a runner in the 6th inning. Back out of play. Strike 1. Brett made a good play on Cerrone's bouncer just over the bag at third base in the 6th inning. Got it to second base just ahead of Soderholm. Foul, line foul off third base. Good play by the ball boy down the third base line. No balls, 2 strikes on Cerrone. Curve does not get the outside corner. 1-2. Cerrone played 147 games this year for the Yankees. More than any other Yankee. Into left. This should be easy for Willie Wilson. 2 outs.
The left fielder, Lou Piniella.
And the batter now is Lou Piniella, who was homered, walked, and struck out. Lou is 1 for 2. We told earlier, Phil, that Cerrone and Piniella hitting back-to-back home runs. That was the first time it had happened, but I understand it wasn't the first time. Somebody did it in the National League. Johnny Bench, one of them.
Probably Foster and Bench, huh?
I don't know. I didn't get the second name, but it's the first time in the American League Championship Series that that's happened. Jim Fry watching the action. He's got a 3-run lead. And it was Foster. Foster and Bench. One and one. Bench wants to play a position other than catch.
Yeah, and the Reds aren't too happy with that.
Nope. He wants to catch maybe once or twice a week and play maybe first base or the outfield the other 4 or 5 days a week. Back up the middle. Washington, the shortstop. And Pinilla's out. Out number 3 in the 8th inning. Put out 6-3. That retires the sign. And then a 7.5 to score. Royals 5, Yankees 2.
New York, these vagabond shoes.
According to the latest up-to-the-minute reports, money market funds are paying average interest rates of around 9%, while Citibank is currently paying 11% on $10,000 or more in a 6-month investment savings account with easy access. That means right now you can get a 20% higher rate from Citibank than from money funds. And at Citibank, if you need cash before 6 months go by, you can take out $500 or more simply by writing a check. You pay only 1% interest on the amount you take out before 6 months. $3,000 must remain on deposit for the full 6-month term. So, if you've got money to invest, remember, money funds pay high rates. But Citibank right now pays 20% more. The city never sleeps.
Oh, what a feeling. Lean and clean. Symbol of the Toyota Celica. Celica. Lean and clean and a little bit mean.
All right, Tommy Underwood is the new pitcher for the Yankees as we get ready for the bottom of the 8th. Ron Davis pitched 4 strong innings. The 1 home run he gave up to George Brett, the only run scorer. He allowed 3 hits, walked 1, struck out 3, and allowed the 1 run. So Tommy Underwood will come on, pitch to Watson, Akins, and Porter. 2 of the 3 of them left-hand batters. And then the Yankees have the 9th, whether they'll use pinch hitters or not. Rodriguez is scheduled to lead off for the Yankees, then Brown and Randolph. All right, William.
Well, John Wathan leads off against Tommy Underwood. Wathan has walked all 3 times he's been up, with an intentional pass coming in the 3rd inning. He has scored a run. Royals have 5 runs on 8 base hits, including a home run by George Brett. The Yankees have 2 runs on 9 base hits. So both those Yankee runs coming on home runs. Solo shots by Rick Cerrone and Lou Piniella back-to-back in the 2nd inning. Ball 1 to Wathan. Talked about the big crowd, a new Kansas City record. 42,598 fans here watching this baseball game. 1-1.
Greg Nettles.
Yeah.
Greg's schedule to start tomorrow's game.
One and 2. That's fouled off 3rd. Tommy Underwood. With Rudy May starting, Underwood shunted to the bullpen as we look at Charlie Lau. He's given credit for George Brett's hitting. 2-2. Lau worked with Brett and with Al McRae while he was here. Out of play. What got Lau in trouble here, he was working with Hurdle, and Whitey Herzog didn't like the way he was working with Hurdle.
Yeah,
let him go, and of course, Yankees picked him up, and he's done an excellent job with Cerrone. Still 2-2 on Watson.
There's that hot air balloon that was flying before.
He got him, went too far. Watson goes down on strikes. He tried to check it and couldn't. So Underwood comes on, strikes out Watson. We'll watch it again.
Willie Aikens.
Really broke down and in.
Underwood now will pitch to Willie Aikens, who has struck out, singled in 2 runs, and bounced back to the mound. That's fouled off first.
I tell you, he's swinging the bat a lot better than he did early in the year when he first joined the Royals.
He's making better contact. He always gets his rips. He doesn't get cheated. Hit 20 home runs this year for Kansas City and drove in 98 runs. And it's 1-1 on Aikens. Is that the Royal mascot?
I don't know. I'm going to say, what does a Royal look like?
What is a Royal? Commodore, they got the Royal Commodore or something here. A Royal's a boat. 2-2. Right back to Underwood. 2 outs.
Tommy has fooled the first 2 hitters.
Well, he came sidearm then.
The pitcher,
Doesn't
Darryl
often do
Porter.
that. Darryl Porter's been held hitless. He's flied out, bounced out twice, 0 for 3. We're in the bottom half of the 8th inning. The Royals lead 5-2 over the Yankees. As Porter takes a breaking ball for strike. Here's that pitch again. And it's 1-1. Two and 1. That's a Royal.
Same as Otis's buddy.
Out of play, 2 balls, 2 strikes on Porter. 2 outs, nobody on here in the 8th inning. Royals lead 5-2. And Underwood wants a new baseball.
Mr. Al Erickson, report to the fan accommodations room, please.
Porter playing his option out here. I think over the next couple of years, the Royals are going to have some problems.
Yeah, I think so. Especially with the money they gave Brett.
Bucky down at short, plays the big hop. And in the dirt, nope, and off the glove of Watson. You almost see that he was going to have trouble. That ball slid on Watson. Bucky turned it loose. He turned it over. And you can see that ball was going to slide a bit. I think Bob should have caught the ball.
Yeah, I don't think it hit the ground, but you're right. It was like a sinker or a screwball that Bucky threw.
And they're going to give Watson the air. Here it is again.
Yep.
So on at first base is Darryl Porter. There are 2 outs, and here's Frank White. Doubled in 2 runs, singled, and he's also popped up. He's 2 for 3. Change up. Swung through. Strike 1. There's Porter, not a threat to steal. We're also dealing, Scooter, maybe with that stretch of sun stretching across the infield. Maybe Watson lost that ball. Strike two. Dent throwing out of the sun, possibly across to Bob Watson.
Boy, two beautiful changeups in a row that Underwood has thrown to Frank White.
One and two. There's Porter. We mentioned he is not a threat to steal, although he might try to surprise you if you don't pay attention to him. And he got a piece of it, fouled off. Saw a lot of baseball people around here. Ken Boyer, who used to manage the Cardinals, he's here.
Jack McKeon, the general manager of San Diego, is here. He told me that Jerry Coleman aged 10 years in this one and only year of managing.
Be careful, Scooter.
Yeah.
Drill to left, base hit. And Pinella plays it in, and holding second base is Darryl Porter. Frank White picks up his third base hit of the ball game. He's got two singles and a double and 2 runs batted in.
Left fielder, Willie Wilson.
And here's Willie Wilson. Wilson 0 for 4. Hasn't gotten the ball out of the infield yet. Bounced to second twice, third once, and struck out. Runners at first and second, 2 outs. And Underwood is low, ball 1. One and 1. Wilson got 230 hits this year.
Imagine being up 705 times.
Oh,
wow.
705 times?
Yeah.
They don't believe in walking him, do they?
No.
Bobby Brown got a late jump, and he will not get the ball. 2 runs will score. Wilson is going to hold at second base. 2-base hit for Willie Wilson, and the Royals now lead 7-2.
Well, the error very costly. Here we look at it again. And Bobby Brown has started in a little bit now, tries to go back, but no chance now.
Well, he's looking up into that sun as he started in, had a hard time picking that ball up, then decided to play it off the wall. Yankee outfield has not done a good job here in this first game.
No, no way.
Pinella made an excellent catch early, but since then, balls have fallen out there. Here's UL Washington. And he takes low, ball 1. Washington 1 for 3. Big 2-out double by Willie Wilson. In the right, that's going to slice foul. That'll be in the seats first row, and comes out as some fan misses a catch. There's Wilson. One ball and 2 strikes on Washington. see the Yankee bench. They're a little upset now, and down. They're down by 5 runs. And we're in the 8th inning. Struck him out. Cerrone will play at the first base. And the side is retired. Strikeout, put out, 2-3. 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error, 1 man left at the end of 8. Royals 7, Yankees 2.
New York, New York. I want to wait.
To play first base in place of Willie Mays Aikens. And Clint Hurdle has moved out to right field in place of John Wathan. And it looks like Rodriguez will bat, so there'll be no pinch hitters here.
Rodriguez is a double to show for 3 trips to the plate against Gura. Gura gets the first pitch in. He's been ahead of the Yankees ever since the 4th inning. He normally is around the plate with that first pitch. As we mentioned, that allows him a lot of leeway. He can nibble, and he's done that well. And he misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Down a lot of runs, Phil, the tendency is to try to hit the home run, and all you got to do is try to get on base.
Right, get a rally going, but you're right. You just try to hit that ball. Rodriguez went after a high fastball there.
Broken bat pop-up, and the third baseman, Brett, is calling. 1 away. We've got some fans who think they've got it made. Others sitting on their hands are not sure yet. They're leading by 5. Kansas City with 1 out and nobody on in the 9th inning. And this is Bobby Brown, who's 0 for 3. Brown has bounced out and flied out twice. And Gura's in there with that first pitch again. Strike 1. Of course, late innings, you got to take that first pitch. You got to try to get on base. And 2 strikes on Bobby Brown. So far, as we look at Willie Randolph, it's been all Kansas City since the 2nd inning. They're leading by a score of 7-2. And Brown goes down on strike. We'll turn that ball over. Down away from Brown.
Second baseman, Willie Randolph.
4th strikeout for Larry Gura, and it's up to Willie Randolph, who is 1 for 4. And the Royal fans now all standing. Randolph rips 1 to center field. That'll sit him down. And he'll hold it first as Otis gets the ball back in.
Well, Willie figured he's been getting that first pitch over to get ahead of the batter, and he jumped right on it. His second base hit.
Here's Bucky Dent. Bucky is 2 for 3 against Gura. Well, Dan Quisenberry throwing again. He's been up the last 3 innings throwing in the Royal bullpen. So at least the Yankees have made him throw the ball a little bit.
And how about that Martin? He was up for 5 innings.
Gura misses outside, ball 1. Randolph at first base, 2 outs. I'll let him go to second should he want to. He decides not to as Gura's low, 2 balls, no strikes. Larry Gura has not won a ball game since August 25th. He was 18-4 at that time. Ended up 18-10. And it's 3 balls, no strikes on Dent. Dent looking for a sign. I don't think he got one. He'll probably leave it up to him. Wouldn't hurt to take another pitch, though. And he is taking it. 3-2. He's taking Gurr all the way. And once again now, Royal fans get up. Not as many this time. Well, now they're all getting up. That's popped up. That might do it. Darrell Porter, the catcher, calling in foul territory, and the ball game is over. The Yankees in the ninth, no runs apiece, hit a man left. Final score: the Royals win the first game of this 1980 American League Championship Series.